self-evident reason, deductions and conclusions, and the fools are running away. It's not what you say, it's only what you can prove. You better watch your step, you better mind your P's and Q's. You got one chance, show me what you got. You got one chance, show you confident or not. Don't get caught in a matrix of all of these fakers. Society's spinning, and I'm just here living on the ground. Self-evident reason, deductions and conclusions, logically thinking, and the fools are running away. You're flipping over backwards to show me where you think you are. Your model dictates that you never see too far. Shrinking in the distance, you can do fuck all with an angle, and the fools are running away.
Barry.
Baza. Barry Layman? You don't know who Barry Layman is?
Barry, hello.
Hello. So what's up, y'all? What's your basic misunderstanding?
I don't. Well, I guess my basic misunderstanding is why you don't just like do some practice problems and work through the proofs and learn geometry, and then you can understand the topic better because like you're clearly interested in it. Blue
I've done
Marble
exactly
guy
that.
trying to explain stuff to you. Why not try to understand it?
Did you watch the video?
No, it's a 5.5 hour video. I am never.
Well, if you skip to maybe 2 hours, I think that's where Blue comes in. You should really watch the video first and then come back and see us and count the amount of times that Blue contradicts himself within the remaining maybe 3 hours.
I'm not going to do that.
Well, you should.
No.
You should, because the contradictions are blatant.
I'm not going to count contradictions for 3 hours, even if they're there.
Well, if you can't understand, if you can't understand the way Blue contradicts himself, and you're not willing to go and see the way Blue contradicts himself, it's pointless conversation.
Well, it looked like in chat anyway, he was responding to someone who didn't understand that hydrostatic equilibrium is water.
We're not talking about hydrostatic equilibrium. We're talking about basic geometry.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, is that if you don't understand hydrostatic equilibrium and you don't understand geometry because you're a flat earther, no offense, like why not go and learn that? And
nobody here is a flat earther.
Sorry?
Nobody here is a flat earther.
Yeah, okay. I guess I got the context wrong because of the whole not understanding the curving around a surface with the hydrostatic equilibrium thing. It really looked like flat Earth. But
which geometry are you talking about?
Say what?
Which geometry are you talking about?
Start just with Euclidean planar geometry and then move on from
there. Is that the one that PhD Tony calls flat Earth geometry?
I don't know.
Is that why you assumed we were flat earthers because we were using Euclidean geometry?
No.
Oh.
That would not make me assume you're flat earthers. The thing that made me assume you were flat earthers was the incredulity at hydrostatic equilibrium, meaning curving around a surface.
Right, so you think hydrostatic equilibrium is a circle?
Yeah, it's a sphere around the Earth because it's points of equal gravitational potential.
Okay, it's interesting.
But like I said, to get there, you kind of got to work through the rest of the curriculum.
Yeah, have you ever heard of the law of communicating vessels?
I've never heard of it.
It might be very worthwhile for you to look into that if you're talking about specifically hydrostatic equilibrium.
Oh yeah, I looked it up just now. That's just another name for hydrostatic equilibrium. Yeah.
Okay. So, and you believe that's a circle?
Yeah.
Of any particular size circle, like any dimensions or anything?
So it would be you would take the radius of the Earth and then add a little bit for the actual height of your column, or if it's underground, you'd subtract a little bit, and that would be the radius of the spherical surface that your water's going to make.
Where did you read that at?
Wait a minute. Does that mean that the curvature rate of level is elevation dependent?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, they're all spheres, but one sphere is bigger than the other, right?
Have you got any sort of evidence of that, or are you just saying... why are you saying that?
Because I studied math and physics in college and in high school.
You studied math? What was the math that you studied?
Up to linear algebra.
Ooh, linear algebra.
Yeah, Calc 1, 2, 3, 4, differential equations, a lot of partial differential equations just in my engineering classes. And I took linear algebra for fun.
Did you do Euclid to start off at the basics?
Yeah, when I was in 8th grade.
Oh, nice. Nice. So what's your impression of the 10th axiom, for starters?
The 10th axiom? I don't know what the 10th axiom is.
Okay. What about if we were to say two straight lines cannot enclose a space?
That's true in Euclidean geometry, yeah.
Okay, in Euclidean. Have you got another sort of geometry?
Sure, you can have geometry where you have a different distance function, and so you can have that on different surfaces, for example.
A different distance function?
Right.
What, you mean a different distance than what the actual distance is?
So suppose you're on a flat Earth. The natural distance function to use would just be the Pythagorean theorem. But if you're on a spherical surface,
distance.
You can define a different distance function.
How do you define a distance using Pythagorean?
So you have your coordinate. So you have your coordinates of your 2 points that you want to know the distance to, right? So you're going to have your distance in the x direction, and that'll be x2 minus x1, okay? And then you have your distance in the y direction, and that'll be y2 minus y1. And the total distance is the square root of the sums of the squares of those two.
Just for the distance?
Right. So you use the Pythagorean theorem.
Can you not just measure that distance? Because that's one of the functions that you would put into Pythagorean for the size of the thing. You'd have to have a squared plus b squared equals c squared, right? So that a would be the distance that you're talking about. So you would need that distance in order to use Pythagoras, wouldn't you? You can't use Pythagoras to calculate the distance when you need the distance.
You get it just directly from your coordinate system. So if you have a Cartesian coordinate system, you can calculate the distance between 2 points using the Pythagorean theorem.
But
You solve for
that
C.
distance is already, if you're using coordinates, that distance has already been measured and put on the map.
This is how you would measure it on a map.
No, you measure it using a scale ruler. I know how to do that.
Sure, that's one way to do it.
Use the scale for the map.
But if you have 2 points,
just measure
find
it,
the
straight
distance
line.
function is just solving for C given their coordinates. That is the distance function, and that is the Pythagorean theorem.
It's
But you
just
could define a different
based around a right angle
So
triangle.
there's like the taxi cab metric, for example. So if you don't define if you only take integer points,
We were talking about
for
geometry,
example,
and you said it was a geometry used to calculate a distance, but the distance is already measured. It's already a known distance, so you don't need to calculate it. So there's no need for you to use a different geometry because straight line distance, that's Euclidean. If you're using Pythagorean, then you're using Euclidean.
The Pythagorean theorem.
Well, you're using Euclidean.
Right. In Euclidean geometry,
Yeah.
the distance between 2 points is given when you solve for C with the Pythagorean theorem.
It's just a straight line. In Euclidean geometry, that distance is a straight
it's the
line between
hypotenuse of
2
that triangle.
points. No, it's the distance between 2 points, straight line. Euclidean
It is that,
geometry.
yes.
There's no numbers involved in it. It's just the straight
Holy
line.
shit, man.
What do you mean? You think there's numbers involved
I
in
mean,
Euclidean?
just go back and learn the basics, man.
Do you think there's numbers involved in Euclidean geometry?
You can, you don't have to. You can just refer to them as side lengths. That's fine. The Pythagorean theorem still applies.
A squared plus B squared equals C squared, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. But that's not a different geometry, which is what I initially asked you.
You can define a different distance function. So, like on a sphere, it might be more natural to use the distance along a great circle, and you'll use arc length. Because we don't really care about chord length going through the Earth, for example.
Okay, so what different geometry uses curved lines instead of straight lines?
So you can take spherical geometry where the distance function, instead of being a chord from point A to point B, is a segment of a great circle connecting A and B.
With no... Oh, is that why you had the elevation difference of the of your level?
Yeah, if you want to be precise, you need to take into account the whole radius, right? And the whole radius includes your elevation.
Not in spherical geometry, though.
In spherical geometry, yes.
No, there's no radius in spherical geometry. You should know that.
Why not? What?
Well, can you give us the definition of a straight line in spherical geometry?
Sure, it's the path that connects 2 points that goes along a great circle.
A circle.
That is a straight line in spherical geometry.
A straight line is a circle in sorry.
Correct.
Oh, right. What's a circle then? Can you give us a definition of a circle in spherical geometry?
So that would be all points equidistant to a point.
All points equidistant to a point?
Yes.
In spherical geometry?
Correct.
That's a circle.
Yes.
Is there any limits to a circle in spherical geometry?
What do you even mean by that?
I mean, is there any limits to a circle? Because I can give you the definition.
The question doesn't mean anything to me.
Well, listen to this. I'm going to say this is a postulate from Euclidean geometry. Do you have those in your other geometry?
Sure, yeah.
It says, and that a circle may be described from any centre at any distance from that centre. Can you do the same in spherical geometry?
Yeah.
You think so, do you?
Yeah.
You don't think you'd be limited by anything?
Nope.
Okay. And what about that a terminated straight line may be produced to any length in a straight line?
It's going to depend on how you calculate your length.
And
it's the same with trying to have a circle at any distance, really, because they're going to
length.
You're going to have equivalent circles. Because so you go, half a circumference, and then your circle is really just a point, but that's okay because that point is all equidistant from one other point, which is your starting point. But if you go like 2 half circumferences, then you're back to where you started. And if you go 2.5 half circumferences, you've looped around a couple times, and now you're back at your 1 point on the other side. So you can go as far as you want, but some of them wind up being equivalent.
Wouldn't that just be pi?
Pi is the ratio of the
half
circumference of a circle to its diameter.
Yeah, so pi would be a half circumference. 2 pi would be full circumference.
Pi is the ratio of the circumference to the diameter.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you never done radians or anything, no?
Yeah.
You have done radians. It's jolly good. What about this one then? I've got another one for you. 2 straight lines cannot enclose a space.
That would not be the case in spherical geometry.
Really? Why is that?
Because they meet at 2 points.
Straight lines?
Correct.
Okay. What about...
Unless they're the same straight line.
Well, it's not 2 then, is it? How can 2 straight lines be the same straight line?
Along the line?
That'd be a bit difficult, wouldn't it? And what about this one? This is a brilliant one, this. I call this one the triangle axiom. If a straight line meet 2 straight lines so as to make 2 interior angles on the same side of it taken together less than 2 right angles, these straight lines being continually produced shall at length meet on that side which are the angles which are less than 2 right angles. It's a bit of a mouthful, but it says
it's the
right
parallel
angles.
Postulate, and it's equivalent to the interior of an angle. The interior angles of a triangle add up to 180, right?
That's a triangle, yeah.
Yeah, that's not the case in spherical geometry.
You have angles to curves, do you, in spherical geometry?
I mean, they meet at an angle that's well defined. It's you take the tangent, so it's the same as if you took those apparently curved lines back to Euclidean geometry and then took in your Euclid.
Oh, it's cutting out. Is that for me or is it?
No, it's cutting out for me as well.
Fuck.
Sounding good, that as well.
Okay, well we have well-defined angles, and they don't add up to 180.
To curved lines, though.
Yes.
Where
you can do this in Euclidean geometry too. Actually, it's not a big
is
deal.
that? You can't make an angle to a curve in Euclidean geometry. There's no
Sure
such
you can.
thing.
Yeah,
no
you
such
can.
thing.
Yeah, of course.
Well, unless you want to just sort of point at things and goes, "That's an angle. That's an angle."
That's
an
basically
angle.
what we're gonna do.
It sounds like it, yeah. But an angle is
It's not a problem.
You need 2 straight lines in order to measure an angle, though, right?
Yeah, and we have an associated straight line for each of our 2 curved lines that are intersecting, and so we can define an angle. It's not a big deal.
You have associated straight lines associated to the curved lines.
Right. We take the tangent line to each curve at the point of intersection.
Oh, the
And that's
tangent
the angle
at
of
the
the 2
point
lines.
of intersection.
Right.
So what is that then?
Some angle.
Some angle. Spherical geometry, there's no such thing as a tangent.
Who told you that?
Well, spherical geometry is the geometry of the 2-dimensional surface of a sphere.
You can define a tangent. It's defined.
To a two-dimensional surface.
Yeah, I mean, just define it some way that makes sense, and that's a tangent again.
But it
Sounds like a tangent to a plane to me.
Yeah, you can't have a tangent to a two-dimensional surface, surely.
You can have a tangent. What? Why not?
Because it's two-dimensional surface. What's
So?
a two-dimensional surface to you?
It's a region that can be described by two coordinates.
Length times breadth. It's a plane, isn't it?
Could be. A sphere is also a two-dimensional surface.
No. A sphere is a three-dimensional shape.
In 3 space, the surface of the plane is two-dimensional.
A two-dimensional surface is a plane. It's not curved.
A plane is one kind of surface.
Yeah, a two-dimensional surface.
There are other two-dimensional surfaces.
No,
for
there's
example,
other
the
surfaces.
surface of a sphere.
That's three-dimensional. The sphere is three-dimensional.
So R is constant on the surface of a sphere. So we don't need to.
R,
we don't need.
There is no
R
R
to
on the
describe
surface of a
coordinates.
sphere.
It's the same everywhere on the sphere. Okay. So for every point to
R is
differentiate
the
all
same
the points
everywhere.
on
What are
the
you talking
surface of
about?
our sphere, we don't need R. We just need a
curvature-
latitude and a longitude, or you could have a different.
The
coordinate
curvature
system.
rate of the surface of a sphere is the same at all points. Now, you do not call that R, do you?
R is the radius.
Yeah.
R is the radius of a
But
sphere.
there's no radius to a two-dimensional surface, is there?
If it's a sphere, then there is. Yes.
What, you've got an extra dimension?
So, to describe the sphere within another space, yeah, you need another dimension. But if the whole space is just the sphere, you don't need another dimension because it's constant.
The sphere is a Euclidean shape. It's a three-dimensional Euclidean shape.
If it's in 3 space, yes.
Well, so where are you going to put it?
If we're just talking about the surface of the sphere itself,
You're not, though, are you? You're going to conflate it, and you're going to add
we
a
can,
tangent.
if we're gonna do
You're going to
sphere-
add a tangent to it. That is not on the two-dimensional surface that you're presupposing.
to be honest, man, you gotta start at this Euclidean geometry that you're excited about, and it's great. It's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Do the practice problems. Do the proofs.
Practice problems.
Yeah.
Which
get a
ones are
textbook.
those?
Get a textbook, any textbook, a high school textbook. I got one that I can post in chat that's free and out of copyright. Do the proofs, do the practice problems, and then move on from there. You're tackling
Move on-
something.
move on to
it's
where?
too abstract and complicated.
Where do you move on to?
You can then do some algebra. You can do some calculus. You can
Yeah, I
non-Euclidean
understand.
geometry. You can do some
What's
physics.
non-Euclidean geometry?
It's Euclidean geometry other than on a Cartesian plane.
No, non-Euclidean geometry.
Right.
Yeah, what's that?
For example, spherical geometry.
Okay. So that's not Euclidean, right? My fundamental understanding of Euclidean geometry comes from the definitions, the axioms, the postulates, and, as you say, the propositions. Right? So I've done that.
Yeah.
Let's presume that I might have done a couple of those. Right? So I've understood that a little bit. Now, I've got that as a framework of Euclidean geometry, right?
I'm not
now,
presuming that at all.
what is Euclidean? Non-Euclidean. It's just not.
It's where you have different axioms. Some of those axioms aren't going to be
Right. Which axioms change, please?
like the parallel postulate. You won't have the interior angles of a triangle add up to 180, for example.
Okay, but there is a proof in reality that triangles have 180 degrees, right?
In Euclidean geometry, yes. If that's
No,
your,
in
if you're gonna use that
reality,
distance
I
function,
can do a proof to show that any triangle I make has 180 degrees. It also has 3 straight sides that needed in order to make those 3 angles that add up to 180 degrees. Now, that proof goes all the way through Euclidean geometry. There is a proof for it. You can actually do the proposition to prove that triangles have 180 degrees, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Now,
given the Euclidean
how do you presume
it's fine.
that I'm to get rid of that proof and replace it with what? What is the non-Euclidean version that overtakes that proof? What is that? Where is it?
So what you do is you get rid of the axiom that you used to prove that, and instead you're going to have a distance function where it follows great circle paths on a sphere.
But that axiom is a self-evident truth. You're not telling me to just get rid of it, are you?
I am telling you to get rid of it.
Why would you be doing that?
Because you can do math that's totally consistent with a different axiom instead.
But it's a self-evident truth.
That's not really right.
What isn't really right?
It's not a self-evident truth.
It is a self-evident truth. Two
It's
straight
something that you
lines
can
cannot
assume.
enclose a space. It's a
something you can
self-evident
assume
truth.
and get consistent results, for sure.
And also the fact that straight lines don't bend is sort of a self-evident truth, right?
I mean, it's a definitional thing, right? So
Okay,
you could
what-
have a different definition, and then
What
they
do you
bend.
think of the law of non-contradiction?
It's great.
Right, okay. Do you think it applies? Or can you just
It
sort of
always applies.
so you can't just get rid of it?
Yeah, you can.
You can just get rid of it.
Yes.
Oh. Why would you want to do that?
To see what you can derive with different axioms.
To
that
see whether
might-
you can
might be able to
contradict
apply.
yourself.
Because okay, so
I'm just getting at the point that a straight line's a straight line, and a curved line is a curved line. They're both not the same. Now, if you do away with the law of non-contradiction, then you can have a straight line being a curved line. But if that happens, then how can you be sure of anything if something can also be that of which it is described as not being? Something can't be something and the not something that it's also described as being, right?
right, context is important. We have to pick one definition and stick with it. It has to be internally consistent.
So a straight line being straight has to be consistent, and it can
If
never
you're going to
be
use that
curved.
definition of a line, and you're going to talk in the context of Euclidean geometry, yes.
Just
But
reality.
We can
Our
change it,
understanding to not
and we just
break.
stop using that definition. We use a different one, and it's still consistent. We can still make derivations. It's fine.
You can just bend straight lines and turn them into circles as long as you say a straight line is now a circle.
Yes, exactly.
What's a straight line in that case then? Because you did say something about a tangent.
A straight line is usually defined as the shortest distance between 2 points
Well, what's a
according to
tangent
some
then?
distance function. So on a sphere, our distance function is usually going to be the path along a great circle.
Okay, well, what's a
Our
tangent?
distance function is usually going to be defined as that path.
If you define a straight line as a great
Mm-hmm.
circle, what's a tangent? This is why I said I don't think you can have tangents. If you define a straight line as a circle, then a tangent has got to be out the window because it's a circle. You've just defined straight lines as circles. You can't then redefine a straight line as being a straight line and not a circle, because that would break the law of non-contradiction. Or does the law of non-contradiction get broken within spherical geometry?
No, it doesn't get broken, but you have to look at the axioms you're actually using in your reasoning. So if you want to have a contradiction between some axiom you picked and some other axiom that contradicts it, but you're not using it, that's not a contradiction because you're not using that other axiom. You see?
No way.
No, I don't see. Yeah,
Maybe
it
we're
seems like
learning.
you're getting yourself Penrose there with your axioms, which is self-evident truths, right? That's
No,
why
that's not what they are.
that's why mathematics is formulated upon it.
No, you can
What's that
take
mean?
different axiom sets. It's done. It's not a big deal.
You can't just take different axiom sets
Mm-hmm.
over
Yeah,
the top of
absolutely you
Euclidean
can.
geometry for
We have the
use in
Peano axioms.
reality.
We have the ZFC axioms. We have Euclidean axioms. We have other geometric axioms. As long as it's internally consistent, you're good to go. They don't have to agree with each other.
That's not what the axioms are.
It's completely true.
Self-evident truths based on reality, right? That's what the idea of the axioms are, right? In order to keep it fully consistent and not, like Emma says, you've got to mind your P's and Q's. If you don't do that, then you've got a really messed up system, right? It may be internally consistent, but it's still messed up because it's not based on your proper framework.
See, it'll be internally consistent, and that's all we need for it to work as axioms.
No, we need it to work in reality.
May not have any physical meaning. That's totally possible.
No, we need it to work in reality here.
Okay.
I do.
And you can check whether it works, okay? Because the way we measure distance on Earth
is with a straight line.
Is consistent with it being great circles. It's not consistent
it's a horizontal
with planar geometry.
distance, and it's provable that the shortest distance in reality is the horizontal distance. I can prove that, definitely.
Well, we don't drill through the Earth to get a straight
curve.
path. That would be shorter. Okay, if you drilled through the Earth and got a chord from point A to point B, that would be shorter, sure. But on the surface of the Earth, the shortest path between two points is a great circle.
It's a horizontal distance. You don't presume that horizontal distance is a circle, do you?
It's provable.
That it's a horizontal distance?
By horizontal distance, I interpret that to mean a chord through the Earth. That would be the true shortest straight line in three-dimensional Cartesian space.
Just a horizontal distance, straight line. Distance from A to B. Shortest distance.
I mean, a horizontal line between A and B, it wouldn't even intersect A and B. It would intersect A and then go off into space because it would be tangent to the surface of the Earth.
No, it's the shortest distance between A and B. 2 points.
That, on the surface of the Earth, is a great circle, or in three-dimensional Cartesian space, is drilling through the Earth to make a chord through Earth.
What?
It's just a straight line, dude.
That would be drilling through Earth. We don't do that.
No, it's just a straight line. We definitely don't drill through the Earth to make it straight line.
Because we don't live on a flat plane.
Horizontal distance. Do you imagine there's any sort of horizontal distance you can go that doesn't require drilling through the Earth for some reason, apparently?
So a horizontal, you're using two terms that I think contradict each other. If you're going horizontally out, then you'll just go off into space.
What?
But if you're doing a straight line between 2 points on the surface of the Earth, then you have to drill through the Earth to make a chord. See?
So I don't know. I'm slightly confused here now. A horizontal line
is tangent to the surface of the Earth where you're standing, and it goes off into space in either direction.
So it's tangent where you're standing?
That would be horizontal.
What if I was like in the air at even altitude?
Then it would be parallel to tangent to where you're standing.
Parallel to tangent?
Yes.
That's interesting. So it's not a tangent because it's not touching anything.
Right. It's parallel to it.
Okay. That's very interesting. Do you know a water level? Have you ever seen one of those?
Yeah.
What's the biggest water level you've ever seen?
3 feet long.
3? You may as well have a spirit level for that, right?
Actually, it is a spirit level. I was conflating them.
Oh. Well, no. Well, water levels are different too, right?
Yeah, okay. You mean the kind with tube but it's like a U-shaped tube or even a loop-shaped tube, and you line up 2 levels of water like that are far apart, as opposed to a spirit level, which is just like a little bitty bent tube.
Yeah, you don't line it up. The water does it all on its own.
You line up your eye with it.
No,
Yeah.
you don't.
No.
No, you just put the
I've
water
seen
in the
this to
tube.
demonstrate horizon drop, and you line up your eye with it, and you can see that like the horizon gets lower and lower.
I
as
don't know
you
which
raise
moron
the
you've
water.
seen do that.
Is not a line of sight tool.
Yeah, you've been...
Okay, then show me a picture of a water level.
Really?
Okay,
I think you mean something different if you can't use it as a line of sight tool.
I'll get you two. I'll put it in the chat for you. So this is a water level, right? But it's just to show that there's point A and point B, right? 2 points.
Yeah, that's what I had in my mind. Same exact thing.
But it's not a line of sight tool.
If you look
You
down
are
that, if you look down
misguided.
that level, it sure is.
No, it's not how
What do
you
mean,
use a
look
water
down
level.
it?
What's stopping you?
It's not the way you use it.
I'm sorry that you don't want to use it that way. That's fine.
See, DP.
It's not the way you use it.
Okay,
like
if
to
you
see
don't
how
understand
would
how
you-
to
how-
that you could use it this way, that's fine. It doesn't matter. Go
How
on.
would
Do
you
you-
use a water level that has a reservoir then?
Look down the surface of the water.
You can't. It has a reservoir.
Then it's opaque and you can't do it. Fine.
So it's not designed to work that way. Obviously.
Yeah, you might have
If
the
you have
wrong purpose
Blast,
of it.
then it'll work. Right? It's fine.
So are you saying that water level that WhatsApp has posted there with the blue line coming down, that will not work?
You could use that. You can see the water level through the plastic, so it'll work just fine. But anyway, what do you want to use the water level for your proof?
It's just it was just an example to show you point A would be in the reservoir and point B would be at the other end of the thing. Right now, anyone that uses that tool doesn't have to adjust the water level. It does that all of its own accord.
Okay, so what?
Well, do you assume there's a drop? There's a slope between one end water level, point A, and the other end, point B.
Those are just 2 points. 2 points always determine a line. So,
Yep. So is there a slope? Is there a grade to that level?
I think that should be horizontal. Always, yeah.
What do you mean by
Well, I
horizontal?
mean, it'll be
like?
horizontal from the point of view of someone standing halfway between the 2 points. It will not be horizontal from the point of view of anyone else.
Okay, so a horizontal's a straight line, right
It'll be
in
level,
the middle. And wait a
But
minute.
it won't be horizontal from other people's
It's
point of view.
horizontal in the middle. We had Brad do this last night. Horizontal in the middle, meaning it's perpendicular to a vertical at the point midway between the two.
Yes.
Right, now that line, could you stretch it out to one end of the water level and the other end of the water level? And would that be a straight line from one level of the water to the other? Remembering that right in the middle, there is a horizontal that is perpendicular to vertical, right in the middle. I'll try and
I don't
find
understand the question.
I'll have a look at it. It might take me a bit to go back and get this one from last night. Oh wait, no, it won't take me that long. Look at that. Copy image. Right now, see this? This is a picture. Brad, the science guy, he's not really into science, and this is definitely geometry. So see, right in the middle of there is a line that you said was horizontal.
Yeah.
And that horizontal goes all the way from one end of the water level to the other water level, A and B. Both lie on that horizontal line.
Right. But the line is only horizontal from the point of view of halfway between those two ends of the
all the way along. That line all the way along there from one end to the other is horizontal. That's a horizontal line.
Relative to that vertical plumb line that you have in the middle. But
Yeah,
for
all of
someone
it.
standing
All
at
of it.
either end, it's not horizontal.
It would be all that line all the way along it would be called a horizontal line. It's perpendicular to the vertical.
Relative to that plumb line.
It's perpendicular to that plumb line. It's called
Right.
horizontal.
Right, with respect to that plumb line, sure.
That whole line, yes. All of that line.
With respect to that plumb line, yes.
All of that line, yes.
All
of
of
it,
that line is horizontal with respect to that plumb line.
which touches both of the tops of the water levels at either end.
Okay.
So
Sure.
that would mean that the line from one end of the water level to the other is horizontal. All
With
the way
respect to
along
that
it.
plumb line.
All the way along it.
With respect to the plumb line that is halfway between them.
Well,
Yes.
you could make that line and put a vertical, a perpendicular to it, and it would all be parallel, right?
Well, those wouldn't all be plumb lines, though.
What do you mean?
If you went to, say, the left end of this horizontal line that is horizontal relative to that plumb line that you have drawn in the middle,
Uh-huh.
so you're standing by the left side of your water level, okay?
Yep.
And you drop a perpendicular to your horizontal line, which was horizontal to the plumb line drawn in the middle.
That would be vertical.
That line will not be a plumb line.
But it would be vertical.
It will not be vertical.
What, a perpendicular to a horizontal line would not be vertical?
No, because where you're standing now, vertical, remember, means straight in and out of the Earth's surface. So
it's
straight in and out of the Earth's
perpendicular to
surface
the
is a
plane of the
radius
horizon,
of the Earth.
actually.
I'm sorry?
It's perpendicular to the plane of the horizon.
Right, and the plane of the horizon there is not the quote-unquote horizontal line that you've now dragged over to where you're standing now. Because it's only
all horizontals are
it's only
parallel to the
horizontal
plane of the
relative
horizon.
to a plumb line that's way the hell over somewhere else. And
All
where you're standing now,
horizontals
plumb lines aren't perpendicular to
horizontals.
that.
All horizontals are parallel to the plane of the horizon, and vertical is perpendicular to the plane of the horizon.
Right, that's why horizontal and perpendicular are only meaningful with respect to a particular spot on the surface of the Earth.
No, anywhere. Anywhere, wherever you are, vertical and horizontal will be perpendicular. Everywhere. At every point.
For your spot that you're standing at.
Yeah,
For every point. Yes.
At every point, yes.
But they will not. Every horizontal will not be parallel to every other horizontal.
The horizontals are parallel to the plane of the horizon.
Right, which is different at every point.
Which
on
means
the
all
sphere.
horizontals are parallel to each other.
No, that is not what that means. That is completely
Yeah,
false.
it is. It's basic logic.
You can look at your own diagram and see that that's false.
What diagram?
The diagram that you posted with the water level going through the surface of the Earth, and you got the
that's Brad.
plumb
It's
line
not-
drawn
no,
in the middle.
You
and
don't.
you got two-
What do you mean the surface of the Earth?
That's what you have. That's what your diagram is.
No. It's a water level with a perpendicular with some perpendicular lines drawn on it because they've got right angles. The fact that there's a half-arsed circle and it's drawn in biro might sort of tell you that it's not one of my drawings.
Okay, well, in any case, on the surface of a sphere, okay, all horizontal lines are not parallel to each
There's
other.
no horizontal lines on the surface of a sphere. A surface of a sphere.
We can
is a
define what we
curved
mean by
shape.
horizontal,
A
okay? And we
horizontal
don't
is a
mean the
straight
thing that
line.
you mean.
You're not redefining horizontal, are you?
You can define shit however you want, man. It's fine. It
Not
doesn't matter.
mathematical terms.
Disagree.
No, you can't.
Yes,
just
you
do
can.
that. No,
The hell you can't.
You can't just
We define
redefine
X a
mathematical
different time
terms.
every time we make a different way every time we make a new equation.
This is Ruhif's twin brother.
Well, I mean, why
He
not
can
just
just,
learn
he can
math?
just make shit up as you go along. Fucking
Wouldn't it
hell,
be great
dude.
if it was
Years
like
and years of
grounded
learning
in
math.
reality? Like forget math. We're talking about reality. Aren't we?
Well, I
At
mean,
some point, yeah.
You guys can't understand reality.
we're
You didn't
taught.
learn physics. You didn't learn math. You
Oh,
need to learn.
Jesus. You don't understand.
Why do
Is
you
that all
think you
you've got?
understand it without
Is
putting
that
any
all
work
you've
and
got?
learning? It's not like we
Seriously?
were born learning it or born knowing it.
Is
It
that
takes
all
work. You
you've
gotta
got?
you
Dude,
gotta do the work. You gotta learn the proofs. You
Dude.
gotta work the proofs yourself.
I'm
You
not
gotta do the practice
redefining
problems.
mathematical terms. That's you, the
Yeah,
only
we
one
do
that's
it all the
doing
fucking
that.
time.
I'm not learning to redefine mathematical terms because that seems ridiculous to me.
Well, I mean, that's a personal problem because we do it all the time. We redefine f every time we define a new function, for example. It's not a big deal.
You just replace letters with numbers. That's the idea of a formula, isn't it? You should know that. Right, don't come at us that. That's not the same as redefining a straight line as a circle, is it? Or redefining horizontal. Because a horizontal is a real life term. Where's horizontal in geometry?
On a flat plane, horizontal.
Where
and
is your
level mean the same
horizontal in geometry? Where is it?
It's in Euclidean geometry. It is parallel to the x-axis. Would be horizontal.
What, the x-axis in Euclidean geometry?
Or sorry, in Cartesian coordinates, it would be.
Wait, so where's the
parallel to
horizontal?
The x-axis. In Euclidean geometry, I don't think you can actually derive what horizontal means. I don't think. I could be wrong. I don't think it's defined in strict Euclidean geometry, like not Cartesian coordinates.
Euclidean geometry is geometry. Vertical and horizontal are real life terms used in reality. So when you want to apply geometry, Euclidean geometry, in reality, you use book 11 for the principles of it. And you use them, right? So you apply all of the principles of solid geometry in reality.
Okay, I don't think that Euclidean axioms tell you anything about horizontal.
The axioms definitely don't, no, because they're the axioms, self-evident truths. It's not a self-evident truth
what
that you call level horizontal, is it?
Sorry, what?
Is it a self-evident truth to call level horizontal?
No, because it's not true.
Well, it's not.
So it can't be
it's
a
not an
self-evident
axiom
truth.
within Euclidean geometry either, is it?
Even within the context of Euclidean geometry, it's not. Yeah, I don't think that's provable in Euclidean geometry. I could be wrong. I don't
level
think so.
is horizontal, a straight line.
Right. I don't think that's provable in Euclidean geometry.
Have you ever heard of a shared straight line segment? No,
sure.
No two straight lines can share a common segment. Proposition. Have you ever heard of that?
What? Could you repeat it?
No two straight lines can share a common segment.
No distinct ones. Sure. I agree with that for sure.
Do you know why?
Because then they would be the same line.
Yeah, same straight line.
Mm-hmm.
So you can prove a straight line.
Is that provable or is that an axiom?
In Euclidean geometry. What is what an axiom?
Is that an axiom or is that provable? I can't remember.
That no two straight lines can share a common segment.
No two distinct straight lines, yeah.
No two straight lines. It's just straight lines. I mean, do you think that?
Well, if they're the same straight line, then they can.
It's not two then, is it?
Yeah, you could have one be A, the other's B, and it turns out they refer to the same fucking object. It's not a big deal. It happens all the time.
It would be the same straight line then, though, surely.
Mm-hmm.
That's the point of it. No two straight lines can share a common segment.
Right, no two distinct straight lines can share a common line.
The moment they share a common segment, they become the same straight line. So no two straight lines can share a common segment.
It's fine, man. It's fine.
So
why not go back
to show
and learn
geometry
and do the work, and then move on from there, man? Don't you want to be able to understand this stuff too?
Yeah, we'll do it practically.
I can draw a diagram. I can solve it. I can
practical test. Right?
Prove the Earth is round. I can do all this shit.
You can prove that the Earth is round. You helping Blue? You and Blue team together sort us out a video.
So you've seen all the proofs.
I've got a proof.
I'm sure.
I've got a proof in reality, a test.
You've seen
to show
you've seen
that
it all.
a straight
No doubt.
line can be formed. A straight line test, we're calling it.
So you've seen them all, but my question is, why you guys love this topic?
Yep.
You're so interested in it.
Yep.
But you don't put in the effort that, say, Blue Marble and I have to learn geometry and physics.
Why do you say that? Why do you say that?
You can't even do geometry.
How much do you assume that we haven't done?
I assume you haven't worked through a textbook and done the proofs and practice problems in it because, frankly, you're incompetent at Euclidean geometry too.
Right. Why do you say that?
Because you couldn't even follow along with this conversation.
Which conversation? The one that where
The one
you
that we
kept
just had.
trying to say that a straight
It's the one
line
where I'm
is a
trying to
circle.
explain stuff that's too advanced because you haven't put in the effort to learn. Why not?
Straight lines can't be
About
circles.
geometry. We know all about it.
Yeah.
You don't know all
They've
about
written
it.
the book on it.
Why would you know all about it when you haven't fucking studied it? It doesn't make any sense.
How do you know what we have studied and what we haven't?
From talking to you and you not understanding anything.
What? Go on, give us one thing that we didn't understand in this conversation that we've just had.
How if you define horizontal as perpendicular to a plumb line, then on a sphere, at different points around that sphere, horizontal lines are not all parallel to each other. You did not understand that.
Right. Have you got a sphere anywhere near you?
Yeah, I'm standing on one.
Right, okay. Do you think you can move the horizontal because you move around?
Yeah,
Are you in
that's exactly
control
right.
of the horizontal? Does it go with you everywhere?
Yes. Yes.
Now, is that different? Is there an angular change between horizontals?
Yeah.
How do you measure that angular change between horizontals?
It's you draw one horizontal, draw the other horizontal. It's the angle between them. What do you mean?
Okay. Well, have you ever done any surveying in reality?
No, God no.
Okay, so you don't know how to set a horizontal then?
With their tools? No, absolutely not.
Okay. So you just say you draw a straight line horizontal on a piece of paper? Is that what you assume a horizontal would be?
Yeah, that's fine too. Yeah, sure.
That's not a horizontal. That's just a line
Okay.
on a piece of paper.
So it looks kind of like I might be just dealing with mental illness. So anyway, I tried. I hope you guys get help. I hope you guys learn the basics and move on from
your
there.
mental illness. Don't worry about it.
I'm a fucking engineer. Like in real life, I do understand it. You don't.
Yeah, it's a
and
bit
that's
better
kinda
that
how it
one. Is
is.
that a higher level or a lower level than just an engineer?
He's going to get laughed out of here.
I put in the effort. I can do the proofs. You can't. You don't understand anything.
Okay, Phineas, let me ask you a question before you leave.
Just put in the effort. Do the proofs.
Let me ask you a
in order
question.
to understand, it's not brainwashing. It's not by rote. That is the understanding. Okay.
Let me ask you a question because we're so dumb and you're so smart. Let me ask you a question.
Good. Okay.
Here's the scenario. You're having supper with your wife at a beachfront hotel. It's a beautiful night.
Okay.
Okay. You have clear vision to the horizon.
All right.
Okay. She's sitting in front of you on the table. It's a beautiful night. You each have a glass of wine and a glass of water in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You envision this now. Okay. Now you look out at the horizon, right? Can you envision any scenario where that wine glass and that water are not equal with the horizon?
So there would not be a line that is collinear with the horizon, the wine glass, and the water glass.
So they would be different orientations between how you see the horizon, the water, and how you see the wine glass and the water. Is that what you're saying?
They're playing parallel.
They're not coplanar, right?
So there you go. What's your problem? How can you envision level and horizontal being different anywhere on this planet?
It's just not that hard. I really don't understand what the problem is. Maybe you guys are just retarded or something. I don't know.
No, don't they?
No, you're
don't they-
retarded.
I'm not
don't they-
retarded. I'm really not. I mean, I can
Don't
do all
they
this
write-
shit.
Sorry,
I personally would.
Like,
Sorry.
technology
Oh, yeah, go ahead,
would
bud.
not work. Oil wells would not work
Sorry,
if I couldn't do it. I can work the
That
proofs.
has nothing to do with this. Nothing. Zero to do with this.
Don't they write
Yeah, it does.
postulates within these geometries?
Research
I mean, you
Brian
guys can't even do the geometry. Like, if you want to talk about it,
Every-
go learn it. You're
Research
fascinated
Brian
by it. You're not going to go
Every-
learn it? It doesn't make any sense.
Okay, another
Fine,
question, genius. The water starts curving in front of
I'm
your
not a
feet.
genius. I'm just
right away?
competent. I fucking
Okay,
studied.
Mr. Competent, one more question.
Okay.
You're on the water, right? You're on the
Okay.
water.
Yeah, I'm
Now,
on the water.
You have you're on the water, you're on one boat, and your
Okay, I'm on a boat.
friend is 5 miles away from you.
Uh-huh.
Calm day. It's a nice, beautiful, calm day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're looking at each other. How does the water appear to you? Is there a drop, a hump, or something else?
So, I mean, it kind of depends on how you want to phrase it, really. It's kind of open to interpretation, but here's how I'll put it. We can draw out a horizontal line from where we're standing out forever, okay? And the level of the water will drop below that. And your buddy will drop below that. And if your buddy's far enough away, the water between you and him will block your line of sight with him. And it'll be the same from his point of view looking at you. You will be below his horizontal.
Oh, I'm confused now. Let's get some clarity.
It's got the
You
hump.
said the water would drop between you and your friend, correct?
Below that horizontal line, yes.
And how about him? How does he see the water on the opposite side? Is it also dropping?
Yes.
So what blocks in between? You
Water.
said there's something.
Uh-huh.
So the water that drops in between becomes a hump in the middle. Got it.
I mean, it's
Do you
kind of
see
open
how
to
stupid
interpretation.
you are,
yeah.
dude? Do you see how dumb you are?
Honestly, man.
You came here to laugh at us?
I feel bad for you that you can't understand this one. This
Clown!
is
You
is
just said
easy.
2 drops
This
of
is
water
easy,
make a hump.
man.
Yeah.
Did you hear what you just said?
It's
So-
easy, dude.
Can I just
I want
ask?
you to think
so
about
easy.
this tonight. While you
It's
called Bev
so
stupid,
easy.
I want you to think about it, what you just said. You said
Let
2
him think.
drops.
Let him carry
make a
on.
hump.
It's
Don't
like
worry
you're
about it.
bragging about being stupid, like for real. You can't understand this. You can't understand
Camera
this.
on, bloods.
Wow, dude, you
Plus,
are
plus,
really
plus
something.
camera is on.
You don't
I thought
believe
you were
I'm
dumb in the
retarded.
chat,
You know
but
I
not
know how to
Oh
do
my.
this shit. I just explained it to you.
Do the geometries have their own sets of postulates and axioms?
Yeah, you could use a different distance formula. A distance formula is an axiom. You can use a different one.
Dude,
What I'm saying is
sort of an
within each one,
engineer?
there's
My degree is in chemical engineering. I'm a petroleum engineer in my job.
Fuck me. Oh my. Okay.
Thank you.
So, wait a second. You work in the oil and gas industry, right? You said.
Yeah,
So how does that have anything to do with geometry and whatnot?
geometry is like the most basic shit you have to know.
No,
to do,
no,
like
but
anything.
How do you relate that to the oil and gas industry? You said that oil wells wouldn't work.
Right, because math has to work for oil wells to work. So we're going
So
to
what el-
calculate hydrostatic
Oh,
pressure and
math.
hydrostatic equilibrium and all that shit, man.
So hydrostatic pressure and hydrostatic equilibrium, how does that
Yeah.
relate to geometry?
Because when you're drawing a diagram, you're going to have lengths, angles, and you're going to be using geometry. It's the basic shit that you have to have
Generally speaking,
to
a
do
well.
anything else.
Generally speaking, a well just goes straight up and down unless it's deviated. But so what's the big
I'm
deal?
sorry?
Generally speaking, there are wells that aren't straight up and down, but generally speaking, a well is
They're
straight
all
up.
deviated. Every well is deviated.
No, they're just basically straight up and down.
No, that's not
From
true.
what?
Unless it's a directional well, it's straight up and down.
No, even a
for all
vertical well is
intents and
deviated. You
purposes.
can't drill a perfectly vertical hole.
It pretty much is.
No, that's not true.
Yeah, it fucking is, dude.
I've seen the deviation logs, dog.
Oh my god. Okay, so how do you run those rods then? If it's all deviated and everything.
They bend.
Yeah, they don't bend that much.
They bend a shitload.
Alright then.
Yes, all right then.
Yes, alright then. I got 20 years experience in the field, in the oil and gas industry, dude.
Okay, how many freaking deviation logs have you seen? A vertical hole?
Lots.
Okay, man, if you're gonna lie, then there's nothing really to talk about.
I have.
No, you haven't.
For all intents purposes, they're pretty much straight up and down, unless
Okay,
you're on a
all right.
fucking
All right.
well that's
If you're gonna lie, there's
specifically
nothing
deviated.
to do.
It's not a
That's
lie.
fine.
It's not a lie. For all intents purposes, they're straight up and down.
Except truly being straight up and down.
Well, whatever, you make up your
You
own
can't take.
definitions,
You couldn't
right?
take
Oh,
an
hold on.
oil well
You make up your own definitions,
and look
right?
through it.
I'm saying
right?
that they're,
You
for
wouldn't
all
see
intents
light.
purposes, they're straight up and down.
Oh my god. All right. Well, anyway, you're wrong. I know you're wrong.
Am I? Oh, okay.
There's
So
no
I
way to
can't
resolve
say
it.
that, but you
That's
can
fine.
say that straight line curves.
I mean, I'm not going to dig up proprietary logs and post them in chat.
But wait a minute, I can't say that, but you can say straight lines curve.
If you define straight lines so that they're great circles, sure.
Well, I'm defining a well to be straight up and down.
That's
Okay, it
within
just
a
doesn't
different
refer to
geometry.
any well on Earth.
That's
Well,
within a
do that.
different geometry.
Well, guess what? A curved straight line doesn't refer to any straight line on Earth, dude. Like,
That's
so
false.
what's your point?
That's
Well,
false.
no, you're false. See how you can
No,
just
you're
go around
just
in
mentally ill,
circles?
dude. You're
No, you're
retarded,
mentally
and you
ill.
don't
You're
understand
saying a
this thing.
straight line curve.
Oh, don't
and I'm
stoop
saying-
low to that as well, gods. Just
Yeah,
because
I mean,
he's calling us
I'm trying
mentally
to
ill,
get you guys to understand it, and you don't even want to do it.
you
Like,
don't get
what else
people
is
to
there?
understand things by saying they are mentally ill.
I don't think you're going to understand it no matter what,
Well,
because
we
you
don't-
don't even want to learn.
We know
I
that you are
posted
the
a
type
book
of
in
person
chat, and they laughed at it.
who they laughed at it.
The people in chat, they were like, "Oh
Which
my
chat?
god, here it comes with the freaking."
Which chat? I can't
Live
remember
chat.
anybody laughing in here.
Dude,
we
if you
were
run,
Oh
laughing.
my god!
let me ask you this: if you run 2,000 meters of pipe,
Oh, you're
in
in
a
Canada.
well. Yeah, I'm in Canada.
Nice.
You want me
Fort
to do it in
McMurray?
feet? You want me to do it in feet for you, or what?
I
Fort
don't-
McMurray is open pit mining, dude. It's not. There's not
Oh, they do
really
it,
a lot
for
of
sure.
wells in Fort McMurray. There's not a lot. There's some. But anyhow,
I'm looking. Where's the book?
if you run 2,000 meters,
Cold Lake
pipe
Air
in the
Weapon
hole,
Range?
how? What are you trying to dox me, or what's your
No,
your
I'm just
problem here?
seeing
I know
if we
all.
worked in the
I
same
know all
places.
over the area.
Hell
I know
yeah,
all
dude.
over there. Anyhow, if you run 2,000 feet of pipe, is the well 2,000 feet deep? How deep is the well?
In measured depth, yes. In true
Oh,
vertical
okay.
depth, no.
In-
Because we define depth in different ways. Just like you can define anything in
you
different ways.
just continue to make up whatever rules. you
No,
want, though.
go look at a fucking wireline log. It has measured depth, which is what you're thinking of, which is the same accounting for pipe stretch as the length of drill pipe that it would take to tag TE.
Yeah.
But there's also true vertical depth, which is different. That takes into account the deviation of the well.
Yeah, and on a vertical well.
It's very close, and it is
Yeah,
not the
well,
same.
it's so fun. That's what I said. It's practically straight. Oh my God, you're so pedantic, man. It's not even funny. You're just being a contrarian.
I'm just being correct.
Okay,
Where's-
what's the
where's the
major
book?
difference?
Where's the book that you posted that everybody laughed at?
I'll dig it up. Hold on.
It's in the chat, right? You said it was in the chat. Everybody laughed at it. Where is it, please?
I'm scrolling up.
Which book was this?
It's a non-copyright geometry book I found. Recommended in Stack Exchange. It looked pretty good.
You said everybody laughed at it. I can't find it.
I don't know. I guess it's way the fuck up there.
Well, wait a second. Just do a search. What's your name?
Howdy, y'all. I'm Billy.
Simon.
Was it a link for a book?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Simon.
today at
MX. What the fuck?
28 after the hour. 28 after the hour, Bev.
Yeah.
An hour ago. So almost exactly an hour ago.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit more.
And everybody laughed at it. I'm finding. I want to have a look at it.
251 pages.
That was 2 hours ago. How did we laugh about it? I don't get it.
Yeah, but if you want to learn or if you want to understand this shit, that is the basic stuff you got to do, is work those proofs and practice problems. Then you can move on from there, and then you can understand the counterintuitive shit that's giving you guys trouble, like horizontal lines on a sphere not being parallel to each other on different points on the sphere. I mean, you can understand it. You just have to do the work.
But you invoked spherical geometry. Don't they have postulates and axioms within those different geometries?
Yeah.
So don't you think you have to stick within those parameters if you're working within that geometry?
Yeah, so you'd have like a different distance function, for example.
Yeah, but if you invoke spherical geometry, how would you ever reference a straight line if you can't have any?
Okay, you just go back to Euclidean geometry then. That's fine.
But then that's a different set of postulates and axioms.
Yeah, that's fine.
So you can just intermingle them?
So you have to switch back and forth, like keeping it all together. So the spherical surface of the Earth, or the planar surface of the Earth, the surface of the Earth, whatever its actual shape is, can be described in Euclidean geometry. It can be described in spherical geometry. It can be described in any geometry you like. It doesn't matter.
They're different sets of rules within them.
You'll have different definitions for things, okay? So if we want to describe the surface of the Earth and use Euclidean geometry, which we can totally do, then we'll have our nice straight tangent line that's just all as familiar as it.
There you go. Read that. I've just had a quick look in your thing there. It says about a plane. It says fiat surface, but I think it means flat. That's it. That's the introduction to a plane. So, is that what a plane is to you?
No.
Oh, but that's the book that you just gave us.
What? When did I say that a surface of water is planar?
Special, man. This is special. The 2 drops equals a hump, man. Trying to tell us
2 drops.
what it is.
Oh, you mean your 2 boats example on the water?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand why you don't understand that one. That just seems real easy.
Being 2 drops of water, two waterfalls. Let's say Niagara. You have Niagara on one side, right? And you have another Niagara Falls on the other side. You're saying in the middle, it creates a hump. Do you realize how malfunctioned you are?
There you go. Here's another one.
Dude, this is so fucking easy, dude.
It's about the straight line, exactly what I was telling you. Straight lines, it's in there. 2 straight lines are aligned with each other in such a way that 2 points of one line coincide with 2 points of another. It's just exactly the same. What we were talking about. Exactly the same. But this doesn't seem to say anything about these straight lines being circles.
It's fucking planar geometry, dude.
But that's what you told us to go and look. That's what we've already researched it.
I want you to learn this. Then you can move on to 3D
Euclidean
shit.
We've already learned it.
Then you can move on to everything else.
Yeah,
you
book
need
11.
The basics.
Book 11.
You got SE Montreal over here. Can't even understand
book 11.
what it would even look like on a sphere, even
book 11. A sphere is in book 11. three-dimensional
Good.
Euclidean shape.
Good.
Right, okay. So how do you get a two-dimensional surface from a Euclidean, three-dimensional Euclidean shape? It describes
By
a
defining
plane
it on a
there.
coordinate system, and in that coordinate system,
But it
you only
defines a
need
plane as the
2
surface of
dimensions.
water.
What?
It defines a plane as the surface of water.
It's just to help you picture it, man. On a small scale.
Picture it as a plane, yes.
On a small scale, water is planar.
What small scale then?
Small enough that you can't measure its curvature.
Oh,
Busted.
right.
Well, the book wasn't very precise in that idea.
No, it
When
wasn't.
you-
That's
when
a
can you-
realization.
This is when
You do realize they have tools that measure super small, precise measurements with communicating vessels.
Oh my god, dude.
Are you denying that, or
No, I'm not denying that.
okay? When
So you're
can
agreeing?
you when can you measure curvature? Like at what length?
It depends on the precision of the shit you're measuring with.
Well, if in reality things are like small, like a
Mhm.
pond of water,
Okay.
right? It's too small to measure curvature.
I would think so.
At what point would they be large enough to where you can measure curvature?
It's going to depend on your shit you're measuring with. It's very easy with like a large body of water so that if you go on the other side of it, it will obscure enough of your line of sight that, like, say it obscures 6 feet
As
or
an
something.
engineer, you
That's
know
easy to
that's
see
not
with a
measuring, right?
telescope.
As a smart engineer,
We're
You know,
talking about measuring,
that
though.
you are geometry,
Yeah.
you know that's not measuring, right? You sound stupid.
Holy shit,
Like,
dude.
Yeah, but listen, dude, you said it depends on what accuracy you want to measure with, and then you go on to say, well, you can't. You talk about seeing using a telescope or something. I don't know what you want to use, but
So if you
You
can't
use the word
see,
shit
if you
to
if you
describe
can't see like an inch of loss of the bottom of an object, then that's not precise enough. Okay.
You're not measuring it. You're just
But
not
you
able
can
to see
measure
it.
it.
You looking at something, there is a precision of
Cares
how
about looking at
much
something.
has
We're
to
talking about
disappear
measuring.
before you can reliably notice that.
Why are you obfuscating?
I was
Talking
trying to
about
get.
I'm trying to explain it. Okay.
Yeah, you're just trying to obfuscate.
It's really
We're
not
talking about
that hard.
Yeah, we know. Measuring. Tools. You know the shit that you would use? What
Okay.
shit would you use as a smart engineer trained as a physicist?
I would use a telescope.
You would use a telescope to measure
Like
something?
measures.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here, man.
Here we go. He's obviously seen the dark shark, hasn't
He's
he? I'll
obviously
get it.
trolling.
I'll find it. He's seen the deep
And
Wait a second. How would you measure with a telescope? Can you describe the protocol?
so
for
you
that?
need to see how
Solaris
much
range.
of an object is disappearing below the horizon. Okay.
Wait. You need to see something disappear.
This guy
Right.
is an engineer.
Yeah, you need to see how much of the object is disappearing
If
below
it's
the horizon.
disappeared, how can you see it?
Are you fucking retarded?
No, I'm
Wow.
asking you a direct question,
Because
dude.
it's
that was a
partially
pretty simple
obscured.
question,
Holy
dude.
Fuck.
Don't
Can
get
you-
all butthurt. I'm just asking a
This
simple
is
question.
ridiculous.
Well, it is ridiculous because I'm asking you a simple question and you just
How
called
do
me a
you
retard.
fucking like put your shoes on?
You know
every
what's
morning?
ridiculous is
Yo.
nobody measures with a telescope. That's what's ridiculous, dude.
What's ridiculous is that you guys can be this retarded.
It's ridiculous
And
is
not
you're
do
claiming to be
anything
an
about it.
engineer, an educated, highly educated engineer, and you're
It's
using
like you guys
terms like
decided you
you're
want to be
retarded,
retarded, and you're actively
and we measure with
hostile
that
to the
shit.
idea of trying to understand anything.
I'm
Wait
asking
till
you a
you hear this
question.
back, bro. Wait till
What do
you
you
play
think
this
we're
back and you hear yourself. Oh my god. This is
I
comedy
think I
gold.
sound like someone who is getting more and more frustrated with people that
Nope.
are really
You sound like
trying not to
someone who-
understand.
You
We
sound like
are-
someone like everyone else who's never measured curved water, who just assumes it is because he's highly educated, and you're way smarter than us.
He's
I
not
am
highly
way smarter than you. You
educated.
guys are the bottom of the barrel. You guys are retarded.
As soon as I said that, you just had to agree.
I
Your
came
mind is
in. I
telling
came
you
in
that.
just assuming you guys didn't have a
assume that
geometry
none of us are
education.
educated.
Now
None
it's
of us
like
have
you're
measured
actively
with
hostile
those
to
shit
learning.
tools that you described.
Now
that
you're
you've never used.
retarded.
Dude,
Like I came in just assuming
please.
you didn't have a geometry.
please, can you
education.
keep your bigotry out of this?
That's all
I mean,
you are,
it-
a highly educated bigot. If
it's
you
relevant.
are highly educated. If. And that's a big if at this point. You do
I mean,
sound
there's people
educated
with
in geometry.
PhDs that are more educated than me, but you don't
You
need
have a
PhD to be
PhD in what?
confident.
No, he's just
Another
said PhDs are
hanging
more.
out on Discord?
Yeah, he's
I
not.
said
a PhD.
PhDs are more educated than I am.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was fixing to say.
I have a bachelor's degree, and that is it.
In what? Engineer? What type of engineering you in?
Chemical engineering.
Chemical engineering, which kind of tells us why you said how you would measure curvatures by using a telescope.
I mean, it's easy. You look at the object, known height, see how much of it has disappeared below the horizon, and you're good.
How do you
Ignore
measure?
everything you know about light and all of that, right?
How do you
Like
measure
you did
with a
earlier.
telescope?
You can't
By
measure
looking through it and seeing how much of it is obscured.
How do you measure?
Holy fuck.
How do you measure? Do you take a picture and then put a ruler on it afterwards?
That'd be a perfectly good way to do it.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep. You've been watching too much. You've been hanging out on Discord too much, buddy.
Listen, man, you might be very smart with chemical engineering, but you're out of your element when you say things like you're going to measure curvature by taking a picture through a telescope and using a ruler. You're
That's
way
not
out
true.
of your
You're just
element.
not. You just don't understand anything.
Right.
Yeah, we don't
That-
understand.
that
You don't. No, you don't understand anything.
How many times has somebody come here and said, "You just don't understand"?
Yeah.
Why
It's
don't
the
you
you don't
guys go
understand
learn?
fallacy.
You know you don't understand. You know you never put
Go
in
learn
effort to
what?
learn
How to use a
geometry.
telescope to measure?
What did you
That would make
hallucinate
us smarter.
learning geometry and then
Would that
moving
make
on to
us
more
smarter?
advanced topics?
Would that make us smarter, brother?
Yes,
To go
it
get a
would.
telescope and measure something with
Learning
it?
makes you smarter. Yes.
You know how
I've got a
ridiculous
telescope here. I've got one. How do I
And you're
measure
not
with
even
it?
smart enough to know what it means.
Take a
what
picture
you
and use
see,
a
what it
ruler.
means.
My telescope doesn't take pictures. It's a telescope. It's not a
Holy
camera.
fuck, dude.
Cameras
So
take
look
pictures.
with your eyes and see how much of an object is dropped below the
Or
horizon.
you measure with by looking at shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does shit get smaller in the distance?
Yeah.
Is it perspective?
Yeah.
Then
Wouldn't you like to understand perspective?
If it's perspective,
Wouldn't you like to?
why are you claiming it's curvature?
Holy,
Exactly.
because getting smaller in the distance is not the same thing as dropping below the horizon. It's not the same thing as being
Shrinking
occluded by
in the
something.
distance.
Shrinking in the distance is a thing that happens. Being
It is.
blocked by the horizon is a different thing that happens.
What about convergence?
Blocked
So
by
that-
an
That's a thing
apparent
that
position.
happens.
Blocked by an
See,
apparent
if you
position.
learn geometry, you could understand these things. It
How
would
does
be
an
awesome. You
apparent
would love it.
position block something?
What is stopping you?
Excuse me. How does an apparent position block something?
There's a fucking thing that's far away, and there's a thing between you and it,
One
and
of
it
them.
blocks your view.
Yeah, one of them
the
is
light
called
rays
a
coming off of it,
horizon, and
instead of
that
hitting
is
your
an
eyes, they
apparent
hit a thing that's
position.
between you.
It's an apparent position, the horizon, isn't it?
What?
The horizon is
Okay.
an apparent position. Or do you have a different definition?
My
of
definition of the horizon is the edge of. Okay, you have something you're trying to see in the far background. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and it's your line of sight is being blocked by something between you and that far thing in the distance. Okay.
It's a physical thing then, right?
The apparent edge, yes, the apparent edge in your field of view
Yeah.
between being blocked and not being blocked by the thing in the middle, that is a horizon.
But it's an apparent position, but it's physical
Sure, yeah,
enough.
it's an apparent position. That's fine.
But it's physical enough to block something.
It's made of water or whatever, land.
The position is apparent, but itself is an object.
There's an object blocking your fucking view, and it makes a horizon right on that edge of being blocked versus not being blocked.
It makes, so it's not an object, it makes an object.
Okay, and that's fine. The
Is it-
horizon itself is not an object. We have an object that blocks your view.
Is
and
it geometric?
The edge between being blocked and not being blocked.
Is it geometric or not?
That's not even an intelligible fucking question.
It is, because geometric means...
What is that? What the fuck does that mean?
Measurable.
Yeah,
Can
measurable.
you perform geometry on that object and measure it? Yes.
Yeah, you can do both of those things.
Okay, so you have a geometric horizon.
Yeah.
Okay.
If that's what a geometric horizon is, then you have a geometric.
It's not
horizon.
apparent then, is it? It's definitely
You didn't say
positionable.
there's a
Don't say
difference
it's
between
apparent.
An apparent horizon and a geometric horizon. The way you just defined it.
Oh my.
What's an apparent horizon then?
The horizon.
You define it.
A horizon is the apparent position of the meeting of the sky and the land or sea.
Those are the same thing then.
It's just an apparent horizon. Yes, that's what the horizon
Oh,
is.
Fucking shit.
Now, do you presume the horizon that I'm calling apparent is geometric? Is it a physical
You haven't
place?
explained why they would even be different. Yes, they're the same thing.
No, apparent is not geometric. There is a difference. I say it's
You tell
apparent.
me the difference.
One of them is just the
Can
apparent...
I tell him?
Yeah, go on.
With a very simple thing. Have you heard about the projection?
Yeah.
So the light comes from somewhere, but you see the light hitting something elsewhere.
Okay.
So that's elsewhere. There are certain points from which you can see that elsewhere, where the light ends up. But the object itself that emits the light is not there, is it? So that's
Okay.
an example for appearance. When you just see something that is there, let's say, I can bring you the mirror example, right? Are you in the mirror?
No.
No. It's just an apparent thing, right?
Okay. What would
So that's the
geometrically
difference
in the
between
mirror be?
geometric and nothing.
Okay. I don't know what a geometric and apparent horizon are.
Just what the
You're trying to
mirror
use
is
them
made
in
up
some
of.
meaning
That
that you
would
made
be
up
in the
that
mirror.
are distinct, and I don't know why they're supposed to be distinct.
Again, in the mirror, I wouldn't be in the mirror. The surrounding of me wouldn't be in the mirror. In the mirror, there would be only the substance that is the mirror made up of. That's it, geometrically. Because that's the physicality of the mirror when we are talking about it that way.
In between you and something, if there's an object and it's blocking part of your line of sight, so that forms a horizon. There's an apparent edge between where you can see past that object and where you can't see past that object. That's a horizon. The horizon is formed by a physical object in real life. What's the confusion?
What about fog?
If you can't see through the fog, it makes a horizon. That's fine.
The fog is the horizon.
The fog would be, the horizon would be the edge between, the apparent edge between what lines of sight are blocked by the fog and which ones are not.
Would this be
But it's blocked by the fog. How do you see it?
If it's not blocked by the fog, then you see it like normal.
I'm talking about if there is a fog. If there's a fog.
If it's blocked by the fog, then you can't see it.
Are you talking about the hump, though?
Are you fucking kidding me? Holy shit.
Are you
it's
talking
still
about
there. You
the
just
hump?
can't see it. It's blocked by the fog.
There's always a fog for us.
Fucking shit.
It's called air.
Thank you, God. Yeah, atmosphere is kind of acting like the very dense fog.
Okay.
Just over a huge distance.
So in our simplification, where we assume there was no air, that's really I think this might be what you're getting at with a geometric horizon, is assuming there were no air, what would
No.
the horizon look like?
No, there is air. We don't assume there
I
is no
know.
air.
I
We-
know there's
sorry.
air. Okay?
But we cannot
But a
experience what you're trying
simplification
to
that can be
describe.
made is pretending that there's no air and
No, we don't
seeing
pretend.
where,
Yeah, I don't pretend.
where we can derive what
Sorry.
the horizon would
Sorry,
be.
Billy.
And this
Billy,
is
we
equivalent.
cannot do that because we are not living in a place in which we can get away from the atmosphere, right?
No fucking
Never.
shit.
Say the
So
truth. You're
anyway-
thinking
Why are you
about a
bringing
hump,
this
aren't
up?
you?
Yeah,
Holy
can,
thinking about a
fucking
hump.
shit,
can we
guys.
get it back to that geometric
You can't
horizon
reason.
and the hump, please?
Yeah,
Because
the hump.
You can't even
it's
do
very
a
relevant
counterfactual.
with the straight line test that we're dealing with and people's ideas of what they're talking
Okay.
about.
This is mental illness, dude.
Yeah, you know what the
This
problem
is incredible.
Whenever we
here's-
catch him, that's what he says: mental illness.
Yeah,
So
here's-
whenever he
here's
says that, be
absolutely
aware.
right.
He's admitting
This is
defeat.
just an
Here's-
obfuscation. It's how he
What's
deals
up?
with it.
You are mental
Yeah,
illness.
that's how he
shit.
deals with his mental
Here's what the main.
gymnastics.
But what
Here's
he's
what's
trying to
main-
do is get away from the geometric edge that he's just said
I'm
is
trying to
there.
tell you.
Exactly, the hump. Exactly, Bev.
The
Well
hump
said,
is
brother.
not even controversial. It's obvious. Everyone understands except
So,
you guys.
Does that
It's
hump
fucking easy.
does that hump get bigger because of the distance between the two observers?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a maximum distance for that water to hump?
It would be just a hemisphere if you're on opposite sides of the Earth.
Okay. Now, do you know anything about hydrostatic pressure?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Do you know, is there a limit to water above the hydrostatic equilibrium?
Is there a limit to water above the hydrostatic equilibrium? Like if there's capillary action or something?
Well, I mean, you guess you could say that, but what about for siphoning purposes?
Yeah, there is a limit.
Okay. So what is
It's when
that
the
limit?
vapor pressure is. I'd have to fuck with it on a piece of paper for a minute, but it's when you suck up too much water, so the hydrostatic column is too high pressure, and the vapor pressure is equal to the hydrostatic column at the bottom, I think. I couldn't swear to it. Something like that.
Classed as what, barometric? With
What?
the barometer.
Oh, yeah, that's actually what it is. Yeah, you're right.
No, I was just asking you.
Not bad for guys that don't know shit about shit, eh?
Yeah, well, you don't understand anything, and you are retarded. I mean, that is totally
Okay,
uncontroversial.
yeah.
But
Brilliant.
I mean, you got to fact.
But
check.
yeah, they're
Good on you.
explaining everything.
There
to
is
you. Got
there
it.
is a limit though, right? So we know there's a limit to how far water can hump away from that hydrostatic equilibrium, right?
Yeah, but it's not humping away from hydrostatic equilibrium. It's in hydrostatic equilibrium the whole way around.
A curved hydrostatic equilibrium.
Exactly.
A
Now you
curved
get it.
level.
Yeah.
Which is what we go back to at the beginning, right? When we talk about the Earth curve calculators of people like Mick West, Metabunk and Walter Bislin. You've heard of those?
Yeah.
That realise that they are level curvature calculators.
Sure.
Yeah. But not many people do, right? They don't understand that it's a curvature of the level that they're calculating for what is the amount of curvature needed for you to imagine you live on a ball, right? And it's a deviance from horizontal, isn't it? What's more?
Sure.
Or
Sure.
is it actually the curvature of the horizontal that you're calculating? What's needed?
I don't know what the difference is between those two things.
The difference between what? The curvature calculator or a level and horizontal? You don't know what the difference
A
between...
deviation from horizontal and a curve are the same thing to me. What's the difference? You tell me.
Well, one of them you call level, don't you? Like, do you think
What?
level is a circle, whereas horizontal is a straight line?
Level is perpendicular to a plumb line.
Well, that perpendicular is two straight lines, right?
Yeah.
So level is a straight line then? Good.
Um,
That is good.
At a point, yeah.
No, you can't have a straight line at a point. You do understand the basics of
We
geometry,
define
right?
a straight line
As the
that goes
shortest
through a
distance
point.
between
So
two
for every
points.
point on Earth,
No.
there
A
is a
straight line.
different
No,
level
no. A
that
straight
is
line is the
defined.
shortest distance between 2 points.
Holy shit, dude. Oh my god.
He's about to redefine a straight line.
For every point on Earth, there's a plumb line. They're all different, but for every point on Earth, there's a plumb line.
And
okay?
perpendicular. Yeah?
And then perpendicular to that plumb line,
Yeah. Is what
there's a
you call
horizontal
level.
plane. Yeah, there's a level plane at every point.
And that's,
But
a level
at
plane.
different points on Earth, these planes are not parallel to each other.
Sorry, you're going to have to try that again. Have you ever drawn that out?
Yes, it's so fucking easy. Oh my
But
god.
you realise that all perpendiculars to a plane are parallel.
It's a different plane for every point on Earth.
Everyone gets their own planes. You can point at that. That's a plane. That's
Yes.
a plane. That's
We can
a
define
plane.
lots of planes.
Mm-hmm. Would they be tangent planes?
Yes.
Okay. I like it. So when Jose was pointing at things like trees and ashtrays and cigarette boxes and saying that's a tangent, you'd agree with him, right?
You can define a tangent plane going through them. The box itself is not a geometric object.
No, but you can put a tangent to that.
Sure, you can put a tangent to fucking anything you want.
Tangent's a straight line. It touches a circle at one point only.
You have to have a circle to have a tangent. What the fuck?
No, you don't. Are you
You don't?
fucking serious right
Go
now?
on, call him stupid. Go on.
Yes.
Yeah, you're fucking stupid.
Call me
and
whatever.
it's not just ignorance. It's you decided not to learn it, and you're just intentionally not learning it. A tangent line is
Would you like
defined
a
for any
definition
continuous curve that's differentiable.
Can I just check?
From university.
You do have a model, don't you, that's dictating all of this stuff that you're saying right now?
It's freaking provable with calculus.
Nice. You can write some numbers down and go, there you go.
Oh my god.
You're not like
Like-
one of the best, are you? You're not like one of the top engineers that you've got. There is better than you, right?
Whether I am or not, you would have no idea.
I would, because it'd be pretty obvious if somebody knew more than you, because you don't know.
You don't
fuck
know
all.
anything. You're
I know,
actively
that's-
hostile to trying to learn. This is the fucked up thing. Like, it's unfucking believable.
Mhm.
Like, it's like you don't even want to try to learn. Like the water hump example is the worst one so far. You can't even picture it. It's crazy.
Yeah, damn right. I can't imagine humps of water.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's
It
even
is.
crazy?
You can't
Thinking
picture the surface of a
drops.
sphere?
You know what's even crazier, my friend? Thinking
What?
that 2 drops of water make a hump. Like, try to play that in your mind for a little
2 drops of water do make a hump.
bit. Thank you. You made my day.
What the fuck
Thank
do you
you.
mean?
If I
I'll
have to
find
explain
it.
that
I've
to
got
you,
one.
dude, there's absolutely no hope for you.
I think
Seriously.
SC Montreal, man.
I would say all plumbers think that 2 drops make a hump. I mean, most plumbers would say that, I'm sure.
Yeah, are you
Oh,
sure?
yeah.
Oh,
For sure,
I
but-
don't think so.
You can
no.
look at 2. You put 2 drops of water on your table.
No,
They're fucking humped.
no. There you go. Look at that there. You've got the 2 nugs at the side.
Holy shit! What the fuck is this supposed
That's
to
a
mean?
drop. It's a drop. Well, there's a horizontal that goes in the middle, which we say it seems like the easiest. But you've got the drop from each of them. But once you get both of those drops and you add them together, you end up with a hump.
That's what
Oh,
you think in your
two
brain.
drops like that. Okay, I thought you meant 2 drops of water.
No.
You said 2 drops of water.
No,
okay.
the water drops away from you. That's what you said.
Uh huh.
You didn't
Yeah, the
mean
water
you
drops
didn't
away
mean
from-
drops, did you? Like little drops. Is that what
Dude,
you
with
meant when you
SE
said
Montreal,
that?
Who fucking knows? Okay, so
Is that what you
this
meant though? Did
diagram
you mean
doesn't make
2
any fucking
drops?
sense.
Did you mean like
When
2
I said
drops?
2 drops make a hump, yeah, that's you said. The question was, do 2 drops make a hump?
When we were
No,
talking
that
about
was
the
not the
water
question.
dropping away from you.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, we're back on this. So this is real easy, man. You're on the surface of a sphere. In this scenario, you pretend it, okay? This is a counterfactual. You don't have to accept it, but I want you to picture what it would be like, okay?
There you go.
If you're on the
Your
surface
boat.
of a sphere, you're standing on the surface of a sphere, we can define a vertical as being a radius that goes through your feet all the way to the center, okay?
What? You define a
We'll define
vertical as a radius.
right. Exactly.
But the radius is inside the circle.
Yes.
Right, so you can't ever see a vertical then? Is that what you're saying? There's no such thing as a
extend
vertical
it. We'll say
inside.
that a vertical is parallel to a radius, but it extends up forever. Okay.
Sorry, it's
Is that better?
parallel
You
to
like
a
that better?
radius. What's that mean?
What?
What does parallel to a radius mean?
It's collinear with a radius. How about that? It's collinear with a radius, and it extends up forever. Is that easy?
It's collinear to a radius that
Yes.
extends upwards. Well,
A ray.
wait, no, you can't have. Are you saying that there would be parallel verticals then?
No, I'm not.
Well, how can you have something that's parallel or collinear to it then, if there isn't one that exists?
It does exist. It's defined for each point
So
on the
parallel
sphere.
verticals exist then in your model.
Not at different points on the sphere. No.
Right. So where do they exist then? Parallel verticals.
So we can draw. I mean, we can draw a parallel to any line we want. It doesn't matter.
A vertical.
Right. We can draw a line parallel to a vertical. That's fine. It's just that for each
Brilliant.
point
So the
on the
verticals
sphere.
will be parallel then, right?
No. Holy shit, dude. Okay, you're at point A.
So you
on the
can have a
sphere,
line
and you have a
parallel
vertical,
to vertical, but it's not vertical in your
not for
model.
some other point on the sphere. Okay.
I think you're struggling with basic geometric terms myself.
I'm just trying to get you to follow the simplest.
It's because
fucking
it's
concept
because
I
you're
can
getting
even
stuck,
think of.
right? You have to
I'm just
you
trying
have
to
to
get
have
you
your
follow the
model.
simplest-
You have to have
This
your
is the
model
simplest,
dictate to
easiest
you
shit I can
reality,
even think
and
of.
it's hard work, isn't it?
He suffers from
It's so
geometric
fucking
relativism.
easy.
Yeah.
This is so easy.
In your head, I bet it is, but in order for you to express it as though it's reality mixing with your made-up geometry, you're going to struggle.
Well, it doesn't help that you're mentally ill as shit.
Again,
That's it.
is that a normal
actively
response?
Saying
hostile
that,
to
dude.
learning.
Yeah.
Keep saying that.
You have delusions.
Of
Have you
what?
noticed, Billy, you are the only one that's resorted to ad homs and swearing. Everybody else has been calm. You're the only one that's been so far backed into a corner that you have resorted to calling people names and swearing. Have you noticed that?
I don't care. It's not important to me.
But do you not realize the paradox you have put yourself in? If you
What is
say
that?
that two boats far apart, they both see a drop, the water
Oh my
drop.
god! If we got
But
that
then it
issue
becomes a hump.
covered, I would be
Don't
so
you see
happy. If we
Excuse
just
me?
tackled that issue and got you to understand that,
Go
one,
for it. Go for
You're
it.
wonderful.
I can
Please.
get
Please
on the
explain.
whiteboard. That'd be the
Okay.
one.
So if it's a paradox, then we're deriving a contradiction from our assumptions, right?
Go on.
So we're just going to assume a sphere and then derive something contradictory, right?
No.
Wrong. When did we say that?
If
I
it's a
asked you a simple
paradox, then
question.
it's a contradiction, which means we get to assume that it's sphere and then
No.
derive a contradiction, right?
No.
Holy shit.
No, I think you're struggling
Why
here
not?
because you don't seem to understand what the paradox is.
I guess not.
Dude, you've been to the water, right? I'm sure you've been on a boat, right?
Yeah. You look at the shores drop below the horizon. You look at the boat from the shore, the boats drop below the horizon.
So you
From
got
each
two
one's
drops.
point of view, the other one is dropped. It's not mysterious. This is easy.
Are you
This
sure?
is the easiest fucking thing I can think of.
Are you sure about that?
Yes.
If so, you're saying somebody on the other side of the horizon, which dropping is going to see a drop as well? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Wow. So how does that become
so
a hump
fucking
then?
easy. What?
How does two drops become a hump?
Okay, because there's a cord connecting the two people at the different points on the surface of the sphere. That cord goes below the surface of the sphere.
That's a chord.
Yes, the shit above it is a hump.
Yeah, but it's going below the chord, your hump. No, your
It's
drop.
not going below the hump is not what's below the cord. The hump is what is above the cord.
So where's the drop occur then?
Because horizontal is defined separately for each person. Horizontal is the perpendicular plane to a plumb line. And a plumb line is a radius that goes through their feet to the center of the earth. So from each one's point of view, the other one has dropped.
Right. Okay, so do you think a plumb line can be tilted then?
What do you mean? You mean because they're not parallel, they're tilted or something? What are you even getting at?
Yeah, do you believe a plumb line can be tilted?
Yeah, a plumb line can be tilted.
Okay. Is there a maximum angle?
No.
Okay. Now, we said a plumb line is vertical and perpendicular to that is horizontal, or level, whichever one you want to have. Do you believe you could have a vertical perpendicular to vertical?
Yeah. Okay. You would define one vertical for, say, at the equator and another vertical at the North Pole, and those would be perpendicular verticals.
Okay, so if you go along with that, could you have a vertical and a horizontal that are parallel?
Sure. You have a parallel or a horizontal that's defined at the equator that is parallel to a vertical defined at the North Pole.
But so the only thing that isn't possible is that you could have a parallel, that's it, parallel verticals, right?
I guess at the North and South Pole, they're parallel. At exact opposite sides of the Earth, they're parallel.
Well, wouldn't that be a same straight line, though? You can't have a straight line that's parallel to a straight line, surely. That sounds ridiculous, doesn't it?
No, it's actually trivial. It's trivially true.
So you
a
can
line
have
is parallel
you
to
can
itself.
In your model, you can have a vertical parallel to horizontal, you can have a vertical perpendicular to horizontal, and you can have a horizontal parallel to horizontal, but the only thing that is not allowed is that verticals cannot be parallel to each other.
A parallel. Okay, so at the North and South Pole, the verticals are collinear and therefore parallel.
So you're allowing for a straight line to be parallel with itself.
Yes, I'm allowing that.
So, okay, so verticals can be parallel then.
If you're at opposite sides of the Earth, yeah.
Brilliant. So anything goes then, right? Verticals can be parallel with verticals. Verticals can be parallel with horizontals. Horizontals can be parallel with horizontals, and horizontals can be perpendicular to horizontals also.
Yes.
That sounds fucked up.
Well, try to be less dumb, I guess. It's really not hard.
Coming from you.
And hold on, bring it back to reality. Every single person that's ever established a plumb, either a plumb bob or a plumb line, every position has always been perfect with horizontal using a water level and a vertical with a Plumb board, like I say. So
Of course, why wouldn't it be?
right, and then you're telling me that somewhere over there to the south, someone is actually at a different angle to me.
Yes.
But he's not, because he's everywhere he's ever been has been the same as where it was when you left, basically. It's all... You just can't see it.
This is so fucking easy, dude. I don't know. I tried.
Tell him how dumb he is. Go ahead. I mean, you haven't said it in a while.
Is that WhatsApp or SE Montreal?
It's SE.
Oh. You're retarded, man. I'm sorry. Go to the doctor. Maybe they can help.
You made my day, bro. We're laughing at you. You just don't realize it. From now on, we're going to refer to you as the double drop hump man.
Yeah,
It's like you're bragging about being retarded. I don't understand the appeal.
Are you using a mental disability as a derogatory term towards somebody?
Yeah.
Yeah, do you think that's
that
okay?
Lewis, I heard?
That's pretty bigoted, that.
Yeah.
This is Lewis. I mean, like, the treatment you're getting from these retards is pretty typical.
Are you using a mental illness as a derogatory term towards
Oh,
people?
I'm insulting you by
A little
comparing
bit,
you to
yeah.
retarded
Yeah,
people.
that's great. You're so.
But I am sincere that I hope you go to the doctor and get some help. You don't
You're
want to
the-
be disabled your whole life.
You're the idiot who thinks that you can go to the doctor and get a cure for being retarded.
If it's something they can help with, I mean, it's a chance, right?
Right, but the joke is that you guys aren't actually retarded. You're just stupid.
I think they might be.
You're welcome
There's
to your
something
opinion,
really
you know,
fucked up,
Lewis.
man.
The
There's
doctor's
something
not going
really
to be able
fucked
to
up.
help you because you've got these beliefs and you're in denial about reality.
If they have like a delusional disorder, maybe like some antipsychotic. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. You have to
Wow,
go to the
guys.
Hey,
doctor.
Lewis, I know
You
this
realize-
guy's a
no,
clown,
wait a
but
minute.
When did you turn so hostile, Lewis? You were never like this, bro. What happened to you?
What are you talking, dude? I'm.
Louis been round here before. He knows what he's dealing with when he comes round here.
I'm always been like this. I don't know what you're talking about.
What, stupid?
Are they always like totally unable to picture a sphere? It's mind-boggling.
Yes, they are.
No,
The double hump thing
We
is some
definitely
next
know
level
what a
shit.
sphere is, dude.
So, Lewis, are you aboard with this genius over here on the double drop hump?
I'm not
Are
a
you on
genius.
board with
I'm
that?
just competent.
I actually just came in because I wanted to know if Bev actually had a video where he's got that 400 and 400 meter reels of tube.
Yeah, that.
Would you
that
do me a
video
favor
I
and let
gave
me
you.
run you through it? 30
No,
seconds?
The video you gave me was a music video just panning down a long body
Yeah,
of water.
that's where we were stretching it out.
Yeah, so you didn't actually have a video showing it being used.
Yeah, we stretched it out there. It was in that.
No, Bev,
Yeah.
you're fucking retarded, okay? You know exactly what I'm asking for, and if you don't have it, that's fine. What you showed me was a music video.
Yep.
Yeah, and we are by the side of the canal, stretching
the
out
im-
400
important
meters
question-
worth of water level.
The important
Are
question.
you
is,
that dumb
Lewis,
to realise?
What did you think of the
Are
music?
you that dumb that you didn't realize the video doesn't show anything?
Yeah,
Did you
it
like
does.
the,
What did
you
you
like
want
the
it to
music?
show?
Some of us were there that day watching it live. I mean,
Yeah, you could always jump in and watch it live with everybody else.
I could, except that I'm not there to do it, so I actually can't, which is why I asked if you had a video of it.
Yeah, I showed it to you. Yes.
No, Bev, that was a music video and is not what I was asking for.
No. The music is music. The video is the pictures of us at the canal with the water level.
Dude, it's a drone footage flying up a canal.
Mm-hmm. 400 meters of canal, precisely.
Right. And at no point did I see a reel of tube being unraveled.
And what do you not know what a water level's like? Do you want me to show you what the end of a water level looks like?
Bev, I
Surely we can
replied
do that
to a
for you.
post of 2 reels of tube and asked you if you had a video of them being used. And you showed me drone footage flying down a canal with
Of
music.
us using
And we
the
were
water level.
using the water levels. We
you guys-
purged it
you
and
guys
we
are
changed the
fucking
water in it.
retarded. You're unbelievably stupid and arrogant. Fuck you.
Wow.
Well, bye then. See you later, Lewis.
Pleasant.
Did you like the music, Lewis?
You're kicked, banned, and you can get.
Oh wait,
just get
The
the
music
fuck out.
is some of the most cringe thing I've ever heard in my life.
It's the music.
You're just in a
Well,
bad
famous
mood
pop
today,
star.
Lewis.
Yeah.
You're in a
Yeah.
bad mood today, Lewis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something
Go and have
upset
another
you,
look at it
Louis.
and think about the
chill
word.
pill.
Do you have a
Think
leak
about
in your
the
new
word
house
these
or
days.
something, Lewis? What's up with you, dude?
You guys are retarded. That's what's up with me.
No, he's
Okay,
coming to
okay.
rescue. He's coming to rescue Billy,
let's
isn't he?
Can you give me 30 seconds with you? We'll see who's retarded. Okay, we asked your buddy here that you came into White Knight. Let's see what you say to this.
I don't know this guy.
Oh, okay, then my bad. Okay, just listen to the scenario. We have two boats. They're 5 miles apart, identical.
You're stood on top.
Of the boat, and you're looking at each other. Following me so far?
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
You never been on a boat, Lewis, and you're freaking.
No, I've never been on a boat before.
Okay, so now I know you're playing with me.
Yeah.
Just use your imagination, Lewis. You should be good at that.
Lewis,
So,
why do you gotta be
I'll
such
try
a
once
fucking
again.
jackass? Huh?
I'll try.
These people are
Give me a
trying to
second.
have a fucking conversation with you, and you're being a fucking cunt. How about you chill the fuck out?
How about you
Douchebag.
stop being retarded?
Yeah, keep using
He
that
hasn't even
fucking word. It's the
spoken
only
to
word
you
you
yet.
know.
What are you on about?
Are you
Dumb.
afraid of the question? Maybe you heard it before, Lewis. Are you afraid? Is that it? That's why you're doing this?
It's a stupid question.
So you are familiar with the twin boat paradox then?
It's not a paradox. You guys just can't visualize a sphere at all. It's unbelievable.
So, Lewis, since you're familiar with it, what do you say? What's your answer to it?
It's so fucking easy. It's so easy.
Is your name Lewis?
Are you retarded?
Use the word retarded one more
Thank you,
time.
Lewis. Thank you very much.
It's a great way to answer a question.
I've got your two boats ready for you, SE, if you want to check the thing. There's two guys in boats.
Mm-hmm.
They're very high-tech boats.
He's afraid to answer the question. You see, he came here calling us retarded, but a simple question, he won't answer it.
You're not actually looking for an answer.
Yeah, when we try to explain something, you guys go out of your way not to follow along and not understand. Even with basic shit, it's like pulling teeth.
No, we heard you, and we agreed with you. We said, not agreed, we accepted what you said. You said, two drops.
No, you didn't. You didn't even understand it. You couldn't
Now it's
even
Lewis's
follow
turn,
along.
and Lewis knows what's coming, right?
Or
He
wouldn't
knows he's
follow
going to get ridiculed. But that's why he's afraid to answer. You know, if I was him, I would do the same.
What you guys are actually doing here is building a cocoon to protect your beliefs.
We go everywhere. What are you talking about?
No, all you're
You
doing
guys
is
really haven't noticed
reinforcing. You're reinforcing a state of denial.
They're all crying, the guys in the boat.
So
crying.
who's going on the whiteboard then? Yeah, who's going on the whiteboard? Oh, you two. Which one?
I think that was Lewis. Lewis and SE was going to take Lewis to the whiteboard, and Bev was going to illustrate what's going on. So SE, Lewis, off you go.
So, Lewis, you see the whiteboard there?
Do you want a Louis boat? We'll put Louis in this one here. And who's the other guy?
Louis, it's an interactive thing. You need to respond when you're
Billy.
addressed.
Maybe we could put blue on the other side.
I don't need to do a fucking thing, you
Louis
retard.
and Billy.
Well, he was asking you a direct question, and it is kind of nice if you respond to direct questions.
Yeah, you're too young to get bitter like this, Lewis. Don't do this to yourself, bro.
You're telling us we don't understand. So I'm going to try and illustrate it here for you. You do your best to explain what occurs with the water with these two guys in boats. You're one of them. Billy's the other one at the other side. Now, Billy said they drop. The water drops from each one.
And suddenly he's got nothing to say.
Oh, silence says a lot.
Yeah. All mouth, and now suddenly his mouth's gone dry.
Mm-hmm. So, Lewis, is the ball starting to drop?
I'd say the water's at a hydrostatic equilibrium, right? All the same, all the way across. Dead straight line. All the way.
You think, Bev? I don't know. Not according to
I'd say, but
the more educated than us, Billy.
Somebody keeps calling us retarded for saying something like that. So
Yeah.
It's not just that you don't understand; it's that you refuse to even follow along.
That's not the only reason
you
want to be
We're
retarded.
following along. Come on, direct us.
It's been explained so many times.
Go on then.
Yeah, by literally hundreds of people too.
Do it again then, quickly for us.
Okay.
I'm new round here, so if you could show me.
Is that
that'd be
Bev with the
brilliant,
whiteboard?
thanks.
Yep.
Okay, Bev, draw a circle.
Louis, on a boat.
Oh, it's not pointed at your.
There you go.
Oh,
It's
okay.
not
I gotta
really a circle, but
zoom in.
near enough.
Sorry, I'm new to fucking
You can have if you want this
Discord.
thing for a big protractor. You can imagine.
You see that? He's so dedicated to misunderstanding things on purpose that he's got tools ready to go.
Yep.
Protractor.
A protractor.
360-degree protractor to confuse you.
Okay, draw a circle. You can trace it right around that fucker.
I've done a circle here. There's one there. I just draw a circle.
Just draw one around your protractor, okay?
Just the protractor is a circle, isn't it?
Can you draw one with the marker around the
Can
protractor?
you pretend that is a circle because it is?
Well, I don't want you to draw on your protractor later in the demo, so it'd be
Doesn't
helpful
matter.
if you
It's
just
all
draw
right.
a circle around
It's
it real
all
quick.
right.
You
Okay.
see, like you're not even asking him to do anything difficult, and he's already fighting you.
Because he doesn't want to learn.
I know.
You wanted a circle, and that is a circular protractor.
You said
I
draw
asked
a
him to
circle.
draw a circle.
I did. That I give you a protractor that's a perfect circle, much better than I can draw.
Well, you can just trace around it.
Right? You're here though. Are you?
He hasn't even acknowledged that you want him to draw around the protractor yet.
Draw a circle right around the
He's
protractor.
so
Wow,
fucking
you guys
dense.
are bad, man.
They are, aren't they? They just.
Oh.
Is that what you're gonna go do? Draw a circle in the water? What the hell are you talking about?
Okay, SC Montreal, you're maybe on another level, so you're a lost cause.
They're all lost causes.
Go on.
Yeah.
But your state
Tell
of
us,
mind is
honestly.
admirable.
The boats,
So, yeah,
geniuses.
Look,
Go on.
You
If
can
you
have a
don't
circle.
reify the
Look
model.
at it, hey, look at
It's
this.
it's Eid holiday, and I'm not even Muslim, so I have nothing to do.
You don't graph 0 as a circle. 0 would be a straight line. Circles indicate change.
Who the fuck said that? What the fuck does that mean?
Okay, if you had a graph, right?
I don't.
And
You know what? I sorry I asked. I'm
Graph
sorry I asked.
0.
I just pretend I didn't ask.
Yeah, you're breaking up pretty bad.
You just don't want to learn, that's
You
all.
pretend
He doesn't want to learn.
I definitely don't want to learn
He
from that.
doesn't
guy.
want to teach
That
us,
is
right? You don't
Yeah,
want to.
when-
You don't want to help, do you?
Yeah, I know.
Louis?
Okay.
You don't want to help.
So you can use the protractor itself as a circle. That's fine.
It is a circle, yes.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay.
Look how he didn't care what I said. He only cared who said it,
Yeah.
right? Because they don't care about what you say. They only care who is talking.
Yeah.
Well, it was retarded. So
Right,
I'm
come on
gonna-
then, Louis. Carry on.
Okay. So draw a boat that is perpendicular to any one of those radius lines along the protractor at the edge of the protractor.
Draw a boat.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
And I want the boat. I want its deck to. Holy fucking shit!
There you go.
What are you doing?
We're just
What's wrong with that?
putting
That's
you on
exactly
top
what
of
you
a
asked
circle.
for, dude.
You want a boat on a circle.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yep.
Okay.
He did
fine.
exactly what you said, and you're crying about it.
No, he didn't.
Okay. It's fine. Now,
brilliant.
draw a boat at, say, 90 degrees clockwise from the first boat.
A vertical
Also
boat.
on the edge of that circle, also perpendicular to the edge of that circle. Or sorry, the deck is parallel to the deck of the circle.
Like that?
I did misspeak in all fairness and say perpendicular. I want parallel. I want the deck of the boat to be parallel to the edge of that circle at that point. Can you draw
Parallel
that?
to the edge of the circle.
Parallel to the edge of the circle.
Parallel is two straight lines.
Two
that
straight
don't meet.
lines.
Okay, parallel
Last-
to a
last time I
tangent
checked.
line at the edge of the circle at that point. Is that okay?
You want to draw a tangent here.
I don't want you to draw the tangent there. I want you to draw a boat
Yeah.
that is parallel
Yeah.
to a tangent line
Dude,
at that point.
Billy, what reasonable person wouldn't understand exactly what you want them
I've done
to do
it.
right?
I've done it. It's there.
No, that is not parallel
Yeah, of course
to a
it is.
tangent line at that point.
Yeah, it is. Look, I'll do
Billy,
this, here,
this guy does
bit.
this
There you go.
24 hours a day, 7 days
That
a
bit
week.
of the boat there is parallel to a
The
tangent.
deck. I want the deck of the boat to be parallel to a tangent line, tangent to the edge of that circle at that point.
There, at that point. Oop, that point.
At the
there.
point at 90 degrees around that.
It's a circle. It doesn't really matter, does it?
You don't want to understand, do you? You just don't want to.
There you go. Look, see that?
Is it a religious
See the way I
thing? Do you
just
think you
turned
go to
the
hell
circle
if you admit that the Earth is round? What's the
It's a circle.
He's literally doing everything he can to not do what you've asked.
Are you doing this as a show for somebody? It sounds like you're performing this for somebody.
This is some
aren't you?
next level shit, man.
Yeah, it is.
It could be the
Double team.
most dedicated troll I've ever seen. I thought I'd seen
You
dedication.
think this is a
if
troll?
that's what it is.
You're the one that's telling us to do this. What's the purpose of us drawing a
You're
boat
not
here
even
on the
doing
corner?
it. I'm trying to get you to understand.
What's the
and
purpose?
you don't want to.
Go on. What's the purpose?
Your attitude's commendable, Billy, but yeah,
What are you
it
trying to
is
get
100% wasted on these people.
What is the purpose of the drawing
What do you-
boats on circles?
We're trying to explain to you the double drop paradox. It's not too bad. Just draw it out, and it's pretty easy to picture in
Two
your head.
boats here.
Okay.
Yeah.
You see how the boat that is over on the part of the circle that is 90 degrees clockwise from up and down in the Bev reference frame, you see how that boat on the right side is not parallel to the surface of that
Are you assuming
circle?
that the outside of a circle is water level?
Yes.
Hmm. Did you hear Mick West when he said you can't really do that because that's like redefining the word level as a circle?
So, do you understand that when you want to derive a contradiction, you get to use the assumptions that you're trying to falsify?
Say that again.
So you're trying to falsify that Earth is a sphere because you're deriving some sort of contradiction, right?
No, I'm just trying to get you to understand what the water level is with the two boats. You're trying to explain it, aren't you?
The water level on a sphere is the surface of that sphere.
The
It's
water
like you can't
level
even-
on
you
a
can't even
sphere
picture it.
is the surface of the sphere.
Right.
You put a sphere in the water.
Yeah, look. Where do you assume the water level is on this? Where's the water level on that? I hope you're not assuming that you think the water level will conform to the shape of the sphere.
Yeah, it's moments like this, Billy, that you understand just how far behind
Water
you
doesn't
are
conform
compared to
to
where
the
you
shape
thought you
underneath
were.
it, does it?
Yeah, you put a sphere in the water, it's just going to float in the water with half of it above and half of it below. How is that level? A sphere and level are not connected in any way.
Yeah. Yeah, water does not conform
They can't
to the
entertain
shape
even a
underneath
counterfactual.
it, does it?
It's like when we talk about a flat Earth, we pretend, we assume there's a flat Earth.
Do you assume
and then
that the water level
derive consequences of that?
Do you assume that the
that would
water
be
level
observable.
conforms to the shape underneath it?
For the purposes of this demonstration, yes. Yes.
Water level doesn't. That's it.
I'm not trying. This isn't even proof of curvature of the Earth anymore. This is just trying to get you to understand
Just
what it
about
would
water
look
level.
like on
We're
a
trying to get
sphere.
you to teach us about
I'm
your
just trying to
water
get you to
level.
understand. You can't. You don't understand.
You've just said it's
it.
a circle.
You can use a water level to determine if there's a hill, right? A hill is half a ball. So if a water level can show you if there's a half a ball in front of you, then it can show you if the Earth is half a ball. It doesn't, so it isn't.
Water levels show that the Earth is curved, though.
No, they show
sorry?
how water flows. They have nothing to do with the shape of the Earth until.
How does the water level show the Earth? How does the water level show the Earth is curved?
Because the surface of the water has to be at hydrostatic equilibrium, and gravity is acting in the vertical direction, which is radially inward.
Did you say
water in a tube? Water in a tube connected
Uh-huh.
through hydrostatic equilibrium is horizontal at all points through that connected liquid in hydrostatic equilibrium.
It is horizontal with respect to a point halfway between.
At all points.
Also, gravity has nothing to do with what gravity is a word you say. The reason the water the reason the water level
Yeah,
is
as
equal
opposed to
because-
all of
hold
the
on,
other
Let me
words you
come on, let me
say.
get this out. Let me get it out. There's not some magic force keeping water level even. There is the air on top of it keeping it even. So if you started sucking the air out, water will bubble up and fill. So the mechanism, right? When you say gravity, no, the mechanism that makes water horizontal is the even air pressure along the surface. It has nothing to do with whatever
Your
you say
guys'
gravity.
brain stopped developing at like age 7.
So address what I said and not my undeveloped brain.
So gravity is a force. It's exerted on all objects with mass, okay? So if there were a high point in the water, that force would be able to force that high point of the water lower, okay?
No, it couldn't do that because a force is not physical. The air is physical. So the air is physically touching the water to keep the water in a uniform line.
What do you mean it can't do that because it's not
your
because a force is not physical?
Hold on. Your magical force, gravity is not physical. A non-physical can't touch a physical thing. Now,
I don't know what you mean by that.
Hold
What
on,
does that mean?
let me just get it. The physical mechanism that makes water do what it does is
literally
the
it's not a
water
force.
and the
So
air.
the thing
Those
about
are the
Newton's
two
laws, you
things
can't
that
take it
are
literally, but
in
Newton himself didn't.
operation.
That's what's
So water level and spirit level. When you start bringing
Newton
they
did not take his own law of that.
You can just have
that's your
a cup of water in a vacuum, and it'll have a.
Billy, your mic's gone fucked. What have you done?
Fuck.
You've gone all muffled. Do you guys know George Musa? Do you
We know
guys
the
know
Earth isn't
George
fucking
Musa?
flat.
Do you know George Musa?
Oh yeah, they know.
You know, when he said it's literally not a force. It's in the live chat if you want to click on it.
What is a force?
Oh my
But
god.
George
Billy.
Musa says it's literally not a force.
So that's
I can
not
handle
intended for people that don't know anything.
What?
Okay, that has a subtle meaning.
A subtle meaning of literally not a force.
Yes, exactly.
It's not a force, but you can think of it as a force.
Just
yes.
literally not a force.
Yes, yeah. It's literally not a force.
What's a
in order
force?
to make the
What's a force?
Yeah.
Anyone know?
Yeah, it's a concept word to describe physical interactions.
Okay, it is that, but so are lots of things. Specifically.
Like that definition.
Okay, it's a concept word. It can't move water, my dude. It can't move water if it's a conceptual idea to describe the physical air that
Shit.
is moving the water.
Holy shit, man.
What, you
Bro,
stuck
you got
again?
like there is no.
He's about to call you
There's no
retard
force
again.
Yeah,
Straight away.
he normally does that.
Wow,
Defensive
seems all these
mechanism.
retards are
Can
coming
I-
up with
You know,
new things.
I don't have many requests in this, but
Is
I
a
would
mass times an
politely
acceleration.
request you don't use that anymore as a derogatory word.
I'm being derogatory.
I'm asking you not to do that.
Yes.
I don't. I'll do it if I feel like it, or maybe I won't. Who knows?
Well, you can do what you want, but can you not respect the guy that's asking you?
I don't
kindly
respect
to not
any
do
of
it?
you. I really don't.
Well, then why should we respect you?
So that you can improve yourselves.
You think of all of those people that do
we
have
should
brain
respect
injuries.
you. We should respect you to improve ourselves. Why should we?
You don't.
we
You don't have to
respect that
respect me.
comment?
I mean, I'm just trying to get you to
Well, it's a
learn some
two-way
stuff.
street, dude. You get the respect you give.
Wait a minute. I just got one
Hate
point
me if you want.
on the derogatory.
I'm just trying to get you to understand some real easy shit.
Hey, what I have one point to make is that when you regard people and use derogatory terms towards them, and it has an actual use for the word, you come upon somebody with the actual mental disability, you just walk up and go, "You're so retarded."
No.
You know?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm asking politely. You know, usually in a debate setting,
This is not a
resort
debate.
to. Well, okay, I'm just saying when you're in an argument. Anytime I've ever read anything about arguments, debates, when you resort to ad homs, you've lost.
It's not an ad hominem. An ad hominem is a fallacy. So it would be like you're the R word, therefore the Earth is not flat. That would be an ad hominem.
Well, that's what you're saying. You can't understand. You have. You said you can't understand.
I'm saying
because
you
you're the R word.
are the R word, and therefore you cannot follow the proof.
Yeah,
that
so
the
it's
Earth is
still a
not flat.
fallacy.
It's
So just
completely
continue
different.
on.
But can you
No,
be
it's
grown
completely
enough
different.
to just have
It's
a
not a fallacy.
conversation?
It does not lead from a true premise to a false conclusion. It's not a fallacy.
You see
You're
what the
using a
problem
term in
here
a
is, Buster?
derogatory
This
manner.
individual thinks he's intellectually superior to you. So
Yeah,
he
I mean,
feels...
most
I do. Absolutely.
Most intellectual
See?
people that
There
I've
it
come
is.
across that are
Yeah.
any of the intellectually superior people I've come across are usually respectful.
Maybe
polite.
Louis is smarter than me.
They're
I don't
usually
know.
more respectful.
I don't know.
than
I
the
know I'm
average
smarter than
person.
people that can't follow
But this sounds
really,
like a child in
really
a
basic
sandbox
geometry,
talking shit.
and really do seem to
Basically
be going
exactly
out of
that,
their
Buster,
way
yeah.
not to understand. That is the next level shit. I would not. You know, I tutored a coworker. He was an equipment operator. And he was trying to get his GED, and I tutored him. And he wound up joining the military anyway. But I was tutoring him for the getting his GED. I wasn't making fun of him because he couldn't understand stuff. He's trying to learn it. It's great. You guys going out of your way not to learn it, even when it's being presented to you, is a whole other thing.
They disagree with you, dude. They're not going out of their way. They've already learnt the shit, and they disagree with it. Do you not know the difference? You think
they didn't? They don't understand,
think you're morally superior.
and they don't. And
That's
they're
what it
going
is.
out of their way not to understand. That is the
they
difference. There's people that
disagree with
disagree with me
you.
on political issues, on taste, on interpretations of things. Sure. But this is different. This is people going out of their way not to
I went out of my
understand
way to
basic
understand
stuff.
this. I went out of my way to buy tools, use them practically, so you can take your sandbox shit.
So you didn't learn to even interpret what you were looking at. You don't even understand what you're seeing.
I used it practically to build with.
You're the one that thinks you should measure
What good is it if
curvature
you
with
don't
a
even
telescope,
understand what
dude.
you're seeing?
You don't even
understand.
No,
you don't even know enough to know how stupid of a
Yeah.
comment it is to say you're going to measure curvature with a telescope. Come on, dude.
I'm sorry you feel that way.
Why
Maybe
don't
it
you
could be
call
a
up-
medical issue. I don't know. It could be like a delusional disorder. I'm not a doctor.
You realise
Go
that
to a
majority of the
doctor
people in here
and see
use
if
the
they can
tools
give you help
that
and a
surveyors
diagnosis.
use.
Why don't you call up a firm and ask them how they measure things, like elevation and stuff? Ask them if they use their telescope, take pictures with it somehow, and then go home with a ruler and measure their elevation changes. Go ahead. Call them up and ask them.
Call up any firm wherever you live locally and ask them if that's the way they determine elevation. And then come back and tell us how stupid we are for thinking that's not a good idea. Go on.
You realize
It
people
works-
here have
it works
companies that do
regardless
this
of how
for a
they-
living, right? Billy
No,
Boy?
it doesn't. That does not work. You do not measure elevation with a ruler on a fucking picture, dude, with a telescope. It's not the way it works. Nobody does that. Go ahead, call a professional up. Ask them if they use telescopes to measure and rulers to measure changes in elevation. Go ahead.
Do you
And then come
understand?
back
You don't
and tell us
understand the
again,
geometry. So
oh,
to
we
you
don't
it's
understand the
absurd.
geometry now. So it's back to the you don't understand fallacy. After you said something completely ridiculous, then it's I don't understand fallacy. Go ahead, call them.
It's
and
not
tell
a
me
fallacy
how I
because
don't
it's not.
understand.
You don't understand.
Go ahead,
Therefore,
call
the
them,
Earth is
call
round.
them,
We've
call
established
them,
the Earth is
come
round
back
through
and tell me
geometry,
how they use a
through
telescope,
observations.
pictures, and a
The
ruler
argument is,
to
in
figure out
order for
elevation
you to
change.
understand
Go ahead, call
this
them and
stuff,
come back and tell
you're
me.
going to have to
Go ahead.
learn geometry.
Go ahead, call them. Ask them about their rulers and their pictures for elevation changes.
It is interesting enough. I may look it up. I don't personally know any surveys.
Yeah, you don't. So listen, dude. Why can't you just admit that you've been fighting? You come in here
because it's
and you
irrelevant.
no, hold on. No, it is relevant.
No,
And
it's not.
It's relevant on two different levels.
You think it's relevant because
shut the
you're,
fuck up and
you're
listen
retarded.
for a second. No, shut
You have
the fuck
nothing
up
to
and listen.
say. You have nothing to
Here's
contribute
the
because you
reason
can't
it's
even
relevant.
think.
It's relevant from your attitude. It's
You
also
can't
relevant
think.
from your lack of knowledge on the subject. Two
You
very
can't
important
think,
points
so you
that
think
are
it's
relevant.
relevant. That's all I'm getting.
You know what
I
a
can't
poker
think.
You know what a poker tell is? When you play poker with somebody and they have a tell, do you know what that is, Billy?
Yes.
You know what your tell is, Billy? Whenever you're asked a question and you don't know the answer or you get stuck, you claim mental illness.
That's not true at all. I've
That is your
explained.
tell, Bubba. Yep.
I have explained shit to you so many times. It's
Yeah, like
fucking
measuring
crazy.
elevation with a fucking telescope or ruler and pictures. Go ahead, call a professional up, ask them. Come back and tell me how fucking stupid I am. Go ahead. Please. Please go talk to them about their
You
rulers,
have a delusional
pictures, and
disorder of
telescopes.
some kind, so
I
you
have a
wouldn't even
delusional
believe it if they told you. Like anyone who knows geometry can do this. It's not hard.
Even if they told you, you still have a delusion. Wow, bro, you're in La La Land Central, man.
I mean, when they tell you you're retarded, you're not going to believe them.
Dude, I've talked to plenty.
I wish you all the
There's
luck.
your tell right there.
I'll tell you right now, they don't use telescopes to take pictures and go home with rulers and
So
figure
what?
out elevation
So
change
what?
that way. Well, can you just admit you're wrong, or is you're
I'm not
just
wrong.
way too high? Oh, you're not wrong. So you think they do use telescopes?
No, that's
take
something you
pictures
made up
and use-
completely.
Really?
I never
So you
said
didn't-
that they use this or that.
Really? You didn't say earlier on, like maybe an hour ago, to use a telescope, take a picture, go home and use a ruler.
No, I said you can do that. I never said any claim about what surveyors do or do
I
not
do
do.
that. Okay.
And you said, "Do you know what surveyors use?" And I said, "I don't know anything about surveys." What
So
was
you
my
think
answer
it's
was.
possible to figure out elevation change with
Of
a picture
course.
and a ruler then?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, go call the professional. Ask them if it's possible to take a telescope and take a picture, go home, use a ruler,
It's
and
fucking
figure out
easy,
elevation
dude.
change.
It's
Go
easy.
ahead, call the professional.
Love it.
Anyone can do it.
Yeah.
We should have a look at the
have you
picture
done
I
it?
put up earlier, Bev. Yeah, with the different horizons in which to measure to.
Hey, Billy Boy, don't you think the prudent thing to do now, since you've admitted you don't have any clue how this is done, to actually have a look at it?
No, he'd rather
I'm
argue with you and tell you how
Interested enough to
stupid
take
you
a
are.
look at it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Smart,
So you-
smart move there.
You fully
Isn't it
admit
weird how
that
you
you
guys
know
don't-
nothing
you
about
guys- you
it,
guys are
and yet
fascinated
you're
by flat
arguing,
Earth
calling people retards.
But you
And
are
when you don't know, you admit you know nothing about what you're talking about.
Do you see the difference between not knowing how surveyors do their job and saying, "Oh, I don't know how they do their job. Maybe I'll be interested enough to look into it," versus what you guys do, which is be utterly
Oh, you mean
fascinated by
the
flat
people
Earth
that use the tools
and
stuff
refuse
that
to
know.
learn anything
He just got a
about
quick
it
flat
and
earth in
refuse
there.
to
It's not
understand, refuse
flat.
to follow along
It's
with
not
explanations.
flat.
Do you see the difference?
It's not flat.
What you're doing is
surveyors
actual
measure.
delusion.
It's not flat.
That's false and it's provable, but you can't follow it because
See,
you
Bev, it's false.
It's false and it's provable. It's just like say it. Just say it like that. Yeah.
He just said it's not
Why?
flat. And this guy
Do you think
says
you lose if you
It's
learn
false.
geometry?
He must think it is
that
flat. Do
it?
you think it's flat?
Of course not. It's provable that it's not flat.
Well, that's what I just said, and you said I was wrong.
What?
Yeah, you're so fucking contradictory. You want to think that everybody's wrong round here. You've just contradicted
You just
yourself.
said the Earth is not round.
No, you
I
said
didn't.
No, he said it's not flat.
All right, then I
You
misheard.
said
My
that's
bad.
Listen,
Good job.
dude.
Yeah, the Earth
That's
is
your
not flat.
problem.
Good
Is
job.
you just know you need to say something, and no matter what's said in here, it's gotta be wrong. So you just fucking keep yapping.
That's dumb. All right, go ahead, Bev.
He said it's not flat. You said that's provably false.
Oh, I misheard. I thought he said it's.
That's because you're too friggin' worried about being a contrarian. I've already said that. Your attitude, it's proven in your attitude.
No,
Yes.
dude.
Yes,
Has
it
you
is.
guys
Your
family
attitude
said
is, like,
anything about
glaringly clear.
your delusions? Like they must have noticed.
What delusions
There's the
are
tell.
you talking
There's the tell
about?
right there.
Like you
All
guys
in.
are completely delusional about.
So
not
when I
only
say
flat
when I
Earth-
say about your attitude, you right away you want to talk about other people's families. Like SE says, that's the tell. As soon as something gets pointed out that's true,
what was even
which is
the
your attitude
point?
is shit right now,
Well,
then
that's
you
not
want
a
to talk
question.
about people's
That's not
families.
anything. That's nothing.
No, it's a
I don't
tell.
care. I don't
Yeah,
care.
you're deflecting the
Irrelevant.
point.
Irrelevant.
That's irrelevant. Well, you're never going to be able to have a conversation.
You can't
That's the
participate
problem.
in a
You're
conversation
going
without
around
honesty,
telling
dude.
people. No,
Attitude is
listen.
one thing. Honesty is more basic than
You're going
that.
around telling people that they're purposely not trying to understand when you're
I'm
actually,
observing you do that. Did you not
when
see
you're
Bev with that fucking
actually-
whiteboard? Did you
when
not
you're
see Bev with that
actually-
whiteboard intentionally not understanding?
when you're actually the one that's in that position.
Oh my god.
I think there's a boat on the circle 90
This is what
degrees
happens when
picture another.
delusionals get together and reinforce
We're
each other's
delusional.
delusions.
He put the boat right where you asked him to put it, dude.
Did he put it in the orientation I asked?
What difference does it
I would
make?
say putting a boat on a ball.
In order to follow the
Yeah,
fucking
boats.
explanation.
Boats don't go on sides of spheres vertically. It just doesn't happen.
On a spherical Earth, they do.
No,
Whether
on
you believe it
spheres,
exists or
they
not.
do not.
Whether you believe it exists or not, I'm just trying to get you to picture it.
Your model dictates. We understand, dude, and we're
Just
telling
imagine.
you why it cannot be.
Do you think that?
Cannot
SC
be.
Montreal, you do not
Dude,
understand anything. You can't
Do you
picture
think that
anything.
there's anybody in here? Do you think there's anybody, even one person in here, that hasn't already known what you know about your model?
I don't think you know anything. I don't think you understand anything. Yeah.
Really? Well, I
Yeah.
understand enough to know that you don't figure out elevation change with a picture and a ruler.
You can't.
I don't think anybody can.
You don't know any geometry. You have no basis to say that. You don't
You
understand.
don't do
anything.
geometry on
If
pictures,
I'm
though, do you?
wrong, you
Okay,
have no
hold on.
basis to
How
say
about
it.
can I go take a picture of my backyard then, and you can grab a ruler right quick and tell me the elevation change in my backyard?
Do some
Yeah, I'll need
geometry
some
on
extra information.
Oh,
but
what
I
kind
can
of
use
extra
that.
information would you need? Like
What-
maybe
what?
the elevation change?
No.
What kind of extra information do you think you need to use a ruler to figure out the elevation change in my backyard from a picture? Because when you were talking earlier, you didn't say that you needed it. You said
It was
take it.
the example given was to find the elevation of
Doesn't matter. I'm
of the
asking
top
you
of
right
an
now.
object on the horizon.
What else
So-
you need? What else
What-
you
what
need?
else
you
Tell
need?
us, please.
Go ahead, tell us.
Okay, so you would need the field of view of the telescope, and you would need your distance to the horizon, and then
So I'll
you can
use
just
an iPhone.
geometry it right back out.
Wait a
Use
minute.
an
No big
iPhone
deal.
10.
No, don't let him get
Wait a
away with
second.
that. Distance
Oh, yeah,
to
let
the
him walk through
horizon. What's the distance to the horizon?
Distance to the horizon. How
Go
do
on.
you get
Yeah,
there?
yeah.
Please tell us.
From your own elevation.
What? So
No,
you
no,
know
no.
how
That's
you
what I'm
are.
looking for.
I mean, what?
So let's
From
say,
your own.
let's say
you
you're at
just
50
calculate it.
feet.
Unless there's like fucked up, if there's like really fucked up air conditions, then it's pretty easy to
Oh,
calculate.
now it's getting more complicated all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll go take a picture of my backyard. I'll tell you what I'm using for a phone, and you can tell me the elevation.
Just get a picture of
That's
the
not the
horizon
example that
somewhere
was
and give it
given.
him. And that'll do. And that'll, right? That's what you want.
That's not
innit?
even the example that was given. I would have no way of calculating the elevation of a thing over there. We're trying to calculate
Well, you didn't
the elevation
specify.
of the
You
top
just said,
of a thing.
You didn't specify anything. You just said go grab yourself a telescope, take a picture, go home, and use a fucking.
Yeah, because you guys don't want to follow along. You are intentionally
No, now you're
trying not to
backpedaling.
understand.
That's what it's called, dude. It's called
I mean,
backpedaling.
you're trying to not understand, and you're succeeding very well. If
No,
that's
it's called
winning, if winning is you guys not understanding, you are fucking champions.
There you go. There's a boy on that horizon there. Is that all right for you? How do you,
What's the distance to the horizon?
how
Could
do you
tell us, please?
sort that out? Yeah.
So you would need. What are you? What thing are you trying to find the elevation of?
The horizon.
Well, the horizon is at 0 elevation.
We're trying to
What
get
do
the
you mean?
elevation of
Okay,
God's scalp.
the distance.
What
The
do you mean
distance
it's
to
at
the
0?
horizon. The distance.
0
The
what?
Distance to the horizon. Yep.
So you could just calculate it from geometry. You already have enough information with your own height.
Just
No.
calculate
How?
it
How?
from geometry.
Please. I'm trying to learn. I'm new here. Please teach me.
It's at 0 elevation, right? The horizon is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And you can drop a tape measure and measure your own elevation within a couple feet because you're just right there on the coast.
What, from the ground? Or, because I'm on the car park.
Yeah.
What, you just measuring the height from the floor? Is that the elevation that I'm at?
No, did you,
The
is
tape
that what
measure.
you thought I said?
You said
Well,
you
you
could
said
drop a
drop a
tape
tape
measure. Yeah, drop a
measure.
tape
Oh
measure
my god.
at the side of the car where I am.
Okay.
Yeah, and then let's say that's, well,
Yeah, if you don't want to understand, I can't make you.
the camera it would be, the height
can
of
try
the
to help
camera.
you. I
Let's
can
say it's
explain it to
4
you.
foot above the floor.
Like, if you don't want to understand, you will
Hey,
win.
well, tell
if that
us.
is the
Tell
goal,
us.
you
Yeah.
will win.
Go on,
Okay?
just tell
So
us.
He drops a measuring tape. How does that tell his elevation?
No, distance
Because
to the
you're right
horizon.
by the coast, and
Yeah,
we
but
can
first he
probably
says he
assu-
needs to know your elevation. Then he
Yeah.
said drop a measuring tape. So he drops the measuring tape to where? His feet?
Shit.
What? This
Yeah,
is a
shit.
legit question, dude.
It's a very
What
good
drop a
question.
measuring
Very
tape
good.
to?
No, it's not.
Well, what do you mean then by dropping measuring tape? You mean throw it on the ground then? Like, what are you
Yes.
saying?
Yes.
No, seriously. What do you
Yes,
mean
That's
by
exactly
dropping
what I'm
measuring
saying.
So you throw the measuring tape on the ground.
Yes.
And what's that going to tell
And
you
that's
about your
your elevation.
elevation?
Tell you how high off the ground you are.
Wow.
And since you're right at the coast, you might be able to assume you're just a couple feet elevated.
Assumptions.
If that's not a good assumption,
Couple
then it won't work.
assumptions. I like that.
Assumption again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if I'm going against people that do not that their goal is not to understand.
No,
and
this does
that's
not make sense to
undefeatable.
me.
That's
You
completely
literally said
undefeatable.
throw the measuring tape on the ground.
Yeah, you don't. If you don't want to understand, you will win. I don't understand why that is your goal.
No, dude.
That's
what
now
do you
my
mean?
question is,
What
why
do
is
you
it your goal
mean?
not to understand? Why not try to
What do you
understand and be
mean?
smart?
Throw the measuring tape on the ground. What do you mean by that? Legit. What do you mean by that?
Well, I am trying to understand why you want not to understand. Can you explain that
Your
to me?
tell is showing
No,
again.
I'm asking
Your tell
you.
is showing.
What do you mean by throw the measuring tape on the ground? What does that mean?
It's a simple question. Why do you not want to understand?
What does that mean?
It's a simple question, man.
He doesn't know anything
It is
about
a simple
surveying.
question.
He
What
says
does it mean? Yeah, I know, but I want to know what he means by throw the measuring tape on the ground. What did he mean by that? He won't say.
It's easy.
Okay, what does that mean to throw the measuring tape on the ground?
I don't know what you don't understand.
No,
Do you use
tell
like
me
a
what it
curve, a
means.
drop ball, a hanger? How do you throw it? Like,
What do you
Yeah,
mean by
if you don't
throw
want to
the
understand, I
measuring
can't make you.
No,
you
I'm
will win.
asking you. You won't tell me.
Yeah.
What does it mean to throw the measuring tape on the ground?
Yeah, if you
Because I
don't want to
initially
understand,
said
you win.
You've
You win.
not explained anything for us to understand yet. Do you not
You're lying.
understand? He's
You're lying.
asking
You are
you
literally
for
lying
you
right
to explain it, please. The procedure.
Right.
Yeah, what does it?
Because he's trying not to understand. That's his goal.
What
And I
does
can't
it
make
mean?
it if he doesn't want to.
You're trying
I'm
not to
asking
say anything. Please, just
I've been explaining
please.
shit in
He doesn't know
excruciating
anything. How can
detail
he say
for,
it?
I don't
He
know,
just
2
doesn't
hours
know.
now or something.
No, this is new. This is completely new.
Explain
You
detail.
just said it like 5 minutes ago. To throw the measuring tape on the ground. What does that mean?
You see, if you don't want to understand, you will win.
Okay, but what does it mean to throw the measuring tape on the ground?
Right. If you don't want to understand, you will win. Congratulations.
Oh,
you're
okay,
the champ.
great. But what does
He's
it mean
either
to throw the
incompetent
measuring
or-
tape on the ground?
No, okay, wait a minute. We've gone over this loads of times now. You're not explaining anything. It's very, very clear that you do
That's a
not
lie.
know
You
what
know
you're
that's not
talking
true.
about.
You know
and
that's not
you
true. You are
are
lying.
obfuscating because
If
you do
can't be
not
honest,
want to say
How are
anything.
you even going to participate in a discussion, Beth?
Because you don't know what you're talking about.
You're
It's
lying.
very,
I've been explaining
very
shit to you
clear.
for 2 hours now.
Just explain what you mean by throwing the measuring tape on the ground, and I'll be happy. I'll leave you alone.
Okay, it means to throw one end of the measuring tape on the ground and look at the other end to see what it measured.
Okay, what are you measuring it to?
Okay.
That would be measuring your height, your observer height, relative to ground level.
So you're saying put one end
No,
on the
fuck.
ground and the other end at my eyes, and what
Right,
does it
when I
read?
said drop a tape measure,
Okay.
that's what that
Okay,
means.
so why couldn't you just say that?
Right, well,
Because-
fantastic. Let's complete this picture. We've got a 4-foot line of a triangle, I presume, because that's what
Because
we're using.
you
And we've got
clearly
a
don't
0
wanna
point
understand. You
on
can't
the
even be
horizon.
honest.
And we've got a
And
4-foot
I'm
height of a
trying
camera.
to succeed in,
Why are you
What-
interrupting him?
what we
making
doing now?
someone understand
Shut
something
your mouth.
who does not want to understand. You guys
You're,
are not...
you're trying to
you don't
explain to
want
us how to
understand.
do
It's
the
profoundly
distance
dishonest.
to the horizon. You've got a 0 horizon point, and you've got now dropped a tape measure and got like a 4-foot height of the camera.
See,
Please
you just did it
continue.
again.
Please
you don't even
continue.
want to understand.
Please
It's
continue.
unbelievable.
Take Bev's
Is there a camera or is it a
Listen,
telescope?
listen, dude. Bev just told you his camera eye height from the picture he showed is 4 feet from the ground that it's sitting on. So now what?
So he doesn't want to understand. So he wins.
Well, you
Congratulations.
haven't
You
explained
sound like a
anything. We're
3-year-old
getting to the
child,
next
bro.
step.
You're lying.
It took us
Take
10
the
minutes
sus
to get
and
to
put
the
it in your
first step.
mouth.
But
the
it broke
measuring
him.
tape.
It's all right.
Now that we got
because you
that
guys
far,
Oh, this
we're
don't
guy's
asking what the
understand.
definitely
next step
broken.
is. So what's the next step? It's 4 feet. He just told you. Now what?
Now it's go back to step one and do it.
You don't
and beyond.
understand. You don't understand.
Do what?
Right. Do you guys
Go
like
on.
not
What?
understanding? Why is that your goal? Why is it your goal not to
Well,
understand?
you haven't, to be honest, dude, you
Drop,
haven't said fuck all
drop
yet.
the measuring tape again.
You know that's not true.
Yeah,
You know that's
just
not
keep
true.
dropping the measuring tape from where you
No,
are.
we're trying
And
to
eventually,
so much shit to you guys
Hold
today.
on, dude.
You'll
Hold on,
understand.
hold on.
Crazy.
Hold on. Bev posted a picture in the live stream. It's of the sun, right? Looking out over some land and some water.
no, it's of the horizon that we're looking for a distance
Oh yeah,
to.
the horizon. Sorry, sorry. Yeah, the horizon. And so it took us like 10 minutes to figure out what you meant by drop the tape, but we figured it out. And Bev told you now that the lens is 4 feet off the ground. So what's next?
What's next is to go back to step one and try to actually understand things instead of trying not to understand things.
You're
It's a
approaching
meta
talking
issue.
about?
You're
You
useless.
see,
You're
why
fucking
can't you
useless.
tell us what the
See,
next
you
step
guys
is?
are completely mentally ill and disabled. You're retarded.
Come
There
on,
And unless you
dude.
address that, you're never going to
The towel
understand.
again. SD, that was a good
And
spot
if your
early
goal
on.
Yeah,
is
it
not
is
to
a good
understand
tell. It
things,
is a
then no
really good
amount
tell.
of explanation is ever going to help. It's why
Well, why
you
can't
haven't
we get to
learned
the next
anything
step? You haven't
to
explained the
date.
next step.
Like
No,
You
no,
won't
we-
explain the next
you
step.
haven't learned basic geometry. You haven't learned physics.
Well,
So
you
You
teach
haven't
us.
learned
What's the
math.
next step? It's
I've
4
tried
feet
teaching
off
you
the
many
ground.
times. This
No, you
is
haven't.
not the first thing. This is
Tell the
the
next
10th
step.
or 20th thing. Okay.
You won't tell the next step.
And
What's the
if
next
you
step?
want
It's
to
4
learn,
feet off the
you
ground, dude.
can do it. Okay.
Well, it's 4 feet off the ground.
Teach
But
Let's
you
us
go.
don't want
Tell
to.
us.
And
Tell
my
us the next
question
step.
is, why don't you want to? Why is it your goal not to
first-
The
We're
understand
waiting.
ramblings of a
First,
We're
broken
literally
man
waiting, all of us.
is what you're
We're
hearing.
waiting.
We are going back to the first step, dropping the measure tape again.
So we
Yep.
can.
I have
so
my
we'll
question out there. You guys
we'll
are welcome to
reconfirm-
answer it.
We'll
And that question
reconfirm
is,
it's 4
why
feet off
is
the
it your
ground. Now
goal
what?
not to understand?
Can we drop it to the horizon? Please explain it to us. I want to understand.
SC Montreal, you are clearly too far gone, even for the rest of them. So
Can I
I don't even
drop
know.
this tape
It's
to the
just word
horizon?
salad
You're
coming
agent,
out of you.
SC.
Billy Boy, can I drop the tape
maybe,
to the horizon? Is that what you're
yeah.
suggesting, Billy Boy?
No,
SC
he wants to
Montreal,
reconfirm the camera.
that's word salad and frankly disappointing. Other guys.
Well, how do you
question
do it then?
is,
How do you measure?
why is it your goal not to understand?
Why is it your goal not to tell us the next step? It's 4
Because
feet
I've
off the
explained
ground.
several things already with the result that you
Yeah, but
guys
we're going
refuse
through
to
the
follow
process
along,
of doing
refuse to
practice.
understand. No, you're doing it
I'm trying
again.
to
You're
work with-
literally doing it again.
No, I'm trying to work with you to
No,
do
you're
it
not.
practically.
You're trying
Yes,
not
I
to
am.
understand.
No, I've understood. You got an answer. It's 4 feet off the ground. That's
Why
the
is it
camera.
you're still avoiding my question?
How
My
is that
question
not
is,
understanding?
why
I said
is
it's
it
4
your
feet off
goal
the ground.
not to
Why is it
understand?
your goal to not go to the next step?
Because I've gone through the steps of
Because you
so many
can't?
fucking things
Is that
already.
why you realized, oh shit,
And we got to
I shouldn't have
step
said
one,
that?
and you
I
didn't
can't
even
do
want to
this?
understand step one.
Yes,
What are you
the
talking
ball
about?
dropped, brother. That's exactly what happened.
What are you talking about, dude? I've gone through the first step with you. We figured it out. You meant
This
to
is like
measure
the 10th issue.
to the viewer height.
and
Yeah, but listen, dude.
you
You're talking
you
to
just
me
make
now.
it like
You've
pulling
talked to other
teeth. You
people.
don't
No, that's
want
not
to
true.
follow along.
You've talked to other people in there.
You
Now
don't
you're
want to
talking
understand.
to me.
It was
and
with
now I
Bev, it
told
was
you.
with you. It's
that
like
Will you
the
stop
SC
talking
Montreal,
over
it's
each
even
other,
worse.
please? It is driving me nuts, and I've only been here 2 minutes. What is wrong with grown men?
I'm just trying to get one question answered. I've given them so much time trying to
No,
explain things to them.
literally all I've
and-
heard is your voice so far, and God's was
Okay.
trying to say something.
And the
and you
question
carried
is
on
real
talking.
simple. It's why is it your goal
I guess we know
not
the
to
one that's
understand?
talking over everybody because he's talking over Emma. Dude, we got through the first step. We've established the viewer height's 4 feet. What is the next step? Can you tell me or no? It's just a
This
simple,
is like
I don't know,
the 10th
or tell it what it
fucking
is.
thing I've explained. You guys have sandbagged step one.
Okay, make it the
with
10th
measuring
thing.
observer
What's your
height.
point? No,
It's
we
clear
got
that
it.
you don't want to understand.
It's 4 feet. You got your
Now
I'm
my
getting
question
fucking tired
is-
of this guy. I swear to God.
My question
if
is,
this was
why
my
is it your
channel,
goal
I'd
to
boot
be
your ass
retarded?
right now.
Why
I'd
do you
fucking
like
boot
being
your ass.
stupider than everyone else? Why do you not
You
want to
fucking
understand?
dickhead.
Funny. I think it's
Doesn't
funny
it
that he
bug you
can't
that
do it.
everyone else can
He's
understand this
thinking in
and
his
you
brain.
can't?
He's panicking. He's
Don't
like,
you
"Fuck,
wanna
I
be
are
able to
said that it
far
was
the
easy,
stupidest
and now I can't
individual
do it."
that has ever come here. You are by far the dumbest, stupidest man I have ever spoken
SC
to in all my
Montreal,
life.
you can't even picture a sphere,
go down
dude.
that road,
Your
SC. It's
fucking
alright.
brain doesn't work.
Unbelievable how dumb this guy is, man.
SC, it's okay.
You don't even
go down
believe
that
that.
road. If you're, can we get to the step 2 of this picture or no?
If he
When
says
you
you don't
answer my
understand
question.
one more time, I'm gonna leave and come back later because my blood pressure is gonna shoot off.
It's okay.
Go to
SC.
the
Don't let
doctor,
your
dude.
blood
Get help
pressure
for your
get up,
delusions, man. You do
Are we
not
gonna
want to
get
be
an
disabled
idiot.
for the rest of your life.
You're
Are we gonna
such
get
a
to step
moron.
2?
It's unbelievable.
You don't
Say
even believe
he doesn't
that, dude.
understand. Say it again, clown. Just
He
say it.
doesn't
I want to hear it.
understand, and my question is, why is that his goal?
Can you get to
No,
step
it's your
2?
goal to be a moron.
Can you answer
have
the
people
question?
here, asshole, that have businesses that pour concrete, that do this for 20 years, you fucking idiot. They've been trying to explain this to you, and you yourself admitted you have no clue, but you're still telling them they don't understand. You,
That's a
sir,
complete
are
delusion,
delusional.
SC
You
Montreal,
are an
and frankly,
idiot.
I don't even take you
And I just thought
seriously.
I'd bring that out.
Here's the point.
Yeah,
I'm trying to move.
don't rise to it,
it, Essie.
Yeah, I'm
Don't.
trying to move this conversation forward continually, like probably 50 times now, saying let's go to step 2, and you keep repeating yourself about You guys are stupid. You're willingly can't
Well,
understand.
it's a serious
blah, blah, blah.
question,
So
and
hold on. So
it's
hold
clear
on.
that it's
I'm not
malicious
done.
with you
I'm not
guys, that you
done.
are intentionally not
done.
understanding as
I'm
opposed to
not
just
done.
having
I'm
trouble.
not done. I'm
You see,
trying
that's
to
all he
push.
does.
I'm trying
That's
to
all he
push the
does.
conversation
See, that's the
forward
difference.
in a mature way. And
No,
you
you're not.
can't.
You're
yes, I
absolutely
am.
not.
I'm saying let's go to step 2. What's step
So
2?
we've done this. I mean, fool
No, we
me
haven't done
once,
step
shame
2
on
yet.
you. Fool me twice, shame on you. This is the
We haven't
20th
You're
done
fucking time.
psychologically inept, sir.
I am
There is
Lucy.
something wrong
or,
between
sorry,
the
you are
left side of
Lucy
your
pulling
brain
the
and the
football
right
away,
side
and
of
I
your
am
brain.
Charlie
There is
Brown.
a disconnect there.
So you're done. Complete cognitive dissonance, and you can't get to step 2.
So the thing is, I've explained so many things to you guys, and you
Okay.
guys go out of your way not to
great.
understand. And
No.
what I would like to know
Like I already
is
said
why
earlier,
that
you're
is.
talking to me now. You're talking to me now, I said earlier. Right? So can we
yeah,
go to
so
step
my
2?
question for you
Okay, so listen, I'm not
is
you
why
guys.
is it your goal not to
Hold
understand?
on. I'm not you guys.
Yeah,
Okay?
God's scalpel.
Right.
Why
So
is
I'm not
it
you
your
guys.
goal
Well, how do
not
we
to
know?
understand?
You just started talking. You haven't explained anything to me yet.
Yeah. Okay.
So can we
You
get to
already
step
tried
2?
to sandbag on step 1.
Explain something to me, and then
You
we'll
already
find
tried to
out if I'm
sandbag on
willingly
step
unable.
1.
No, I didn't. You got your answer.
You can be
dude.
honest or dishonest. I can't make you be honest.
No.
But the question I would like
sandbag
answered,
step
if
1,
you're
'cause I
willing to
asked
be
100
honest.
times, what did you mean by it? When you said what you meant, you got the answer right away. Immediately, once you explained what you meant. Now, can we move to step 2 in a mature way?
Step 2 is please be mature and honest and answer my
I have been the whole time. Once you explain
You're
what you
lying.
meant, no, I'm not.
You're
Once
lying.
well, we can go back and listen, but once you
I will
explain
not do
what
that.
you meant by it, you got your answer right away. 4 feet. Now,
Okay,
let's
man.
go
Anyway,
to step 2.
the answer is fucking do geometry. Learn geometry. Do it. Calculate.
So what
the
you're
distance
saying
to the horizon.
essentially is you
That's
can't
the
do it.
answer.
You can't
Yeah.
do it. That's what you're saying.
I can do it. I've demonstrated.
Okay,
the
well,
ability to do
explain it.
over
Step
and over
2.
and over.
Let's go. Step 2. What do you do now?
You've heard it so many times, and you refuse to understand. And
Once
I don't
again,
know why.
I continue to ask. Step 2. Let's go. What's next?
Anyway, my question is: you've heard it. You know what it is.
Yeah, so you can't do it.
and
The
You're
conversation's
welcome to answer
clearly
it,
over.
and
You
I'd
can't
love to know.
No, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Absolutely has no clue what he is talking about.
That's a
Correct,
delusion. You probably don't even really believe that.
Yeah, you're
and I
done,
don't take it
dude.
seriously.
You're done like dinner. You can't do it, so just.
Well,
give
you
up.
guys didn't want to follow along. You didn't want
Yeah,
to
I
understand.
did. I'm more than willing to follow along. I'm asking.
No, you're not.
I asked you. How many times have I asked you? What is step 2? How many
Yeah.
times? How many
I don't know. Was
times
it
do you
more or
think?
less than the number of times you asked about using a measuring tape?
Well, once you explained the first time you explained yourself,
I
you
mean,
got
if
your
you don't
answer.
want to understand, you will
The
win.
first
I've
time
been
you
through this with
explained
Bev.
what you wanted, you got
Like when
your
you guys
answer.
go out of your way not to
Shut
understand,
the
you win
fuck up,
every
dude.
fucking time. You
As
will
soon
be
as
the
you said what you
mental
meant,
illness of these
you
ballers.
got your answer.
Listen to the caliber of people they're sending here. Listen to the mental illness of this man. It is
You don't
truly
even believe that,
astonishing,
SE
dude.
Montreal. That's ridiculous.
Dude, you made our day. You don't have no clue how you made our day. Thank you, sir.
He blew his mic there for a second. Anyhow, anytime you want to go to step 2, let me know. Maybe you can go learn it and come back and explain it.
I mean, I've explained it to you perfectly well, but if you don't want to understand, I can't make you. I don't have any control over that.
Not since we've gotten this picture. You haven't said fuck all except for drop a measuring tape.
That's right. I haven't said fuck all
I
after
said
step
except
1.
for drop a measuring tape when it comes to measuring the distance to the horizon. You haven't given any information.
That makes you an incoherent converser.
No,
you
it
have not
doesn't.
made a coherent sentence.
That's not true. You know that's
You
not
just
true.
babble on
SE
and say
Montreal.
we don't understand.
You know for a fact.
Bro, you're going to go down in history, bro. In history.
You are clearly delusional. I'm not exaggerating. You should go to the doctor.
You should tell me what step 2 is. You should tell me what step 2 is.
I'm just trying to get an answer to my question. I've lost all faith in you guys'
So why are you
honesty
still here,
and
then?
ability to
Why are you
understand.
wasting your
And now
time?
I would like you to think.
Why are you
and
still here
answer.
then? Why are you still here then?
You
If you're
clearly have
wasting
an
your time,
explicit
hold
goal
on.
not to
If
understand.
you're wasting your
Help me
time
understand the psychology.
and you're only
why is that?
talking to dumb people, why are you still here? Who is the real
Because
dumb
you
one?
have a conscious desire not to understand. There's no reason.
I've
to
asked
just
you
tell me
literally
why.
probably going on to 100 times now.
Are you?
Let's go
Are
to
you
step
like
2.
a literal biblical literalist? Do you think you'll go to hell if you learn
Oh,
geometry?
now you want to
or
make
what?
it a religious thing.
No, it's a question. I'm not assuming it is.
Let's go to
Because we
step
don't have
2.
the capability to understand. Please explain it to us.
It's been explained so many times.
Why are you
it's
still
fucking
here
crazy.
if you're wasting your time, dude?
You haven't even went to step 2.
We went over tons of stuff.
I don't think you can do step 2, to be honest.
That's
Me neither.
You don't even.
Me neither.
Well, you know why I don't know that? Because you haven't shown that you can do it or that you can't. So I have to assume you can't because you
This would
definitely
be like the
haven't.
10th
You
geometric
definitely haven't demonstrated that you can. So why would I think that you
That's
could?
ridiculous. You don't even believe that.
Yeah, actually, I do believe that.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do. I
Okay,
absolutely do
then
believe
you really
you
are
can
pretty
go to
far
step
gone.
2. Well, go ahead. Prove me wrong. Go to step 2.
We
I
dare
already
you to
did.
go to step 2.
Why don't you
This
show
is like
everybody
the 10th
how
geometric
much?
explanation, dude. Come on.
Go ahead.
It's not like you
No,
haven't
this
heard
is
this
the first
before. You've heard
practical.
a derivation of the distance to
This
the
is the
horizon.
I
first.
think I know what tact we have to take. Nah, 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 nah. You don't know.
Yeah.
Step 2.
Yeah.
Nah, 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 nah.
Listen, dude. Like this is. We haven't done anything practical. I haven't
It's
done
clear
anything
that I'm wasting my time with very mentally ill and retarded people. I don't like you at all, but I do sincerely hope you go to the doctor and get help. So good luck.
What a toolbox.
Oh, he didn't leave. He still wants to waste his time, I guess.
That sounded like it went really well.
Oh, Emma, you have no idea. Oh, God. If you just came in, oh, this has been one of the best streams ever.
Darn it. I missed
It's okay. I'm sure you'll get to hear it again. This guy is the most delusional individual, not that I've ever spoken here, in my whole entire life. I've never heard such a man talk. Unbelievable.
Emma,
wonder
he
if
said
he's-
that. Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead, Mobius.
I was just saying, I wonder if he's trying to figure out how to leave the call. As
Maybe.
smart as he is.
I don't know.
That's all.
He
So what-
figures he can measure elevation with a ruler and a picture, Emma. So if that gives you
Oh.
any indication.
Oh, okay.
He also said, for the record, that 2 drops make a hump.
Okay. Now he's gone.
No, he's still here.
No. Oh.
Oh,
that
he's
was,
showing
no,
here in mine.
it
That was
Brad.
Brad, yeah. Brad
Yeah.
Butt Boy. He's like, oh man, that guy got destroyed. I'm out.
Projection was strong in him.
Oh yeah, it's all projection, man. It's hard to have a conversation with someone that believes they are morally, like they're just basically superior to you on all levels. And you know that you're basically a piece of crap. So it's almost impossible to have a conversation with someone like that and move the conversation forward in any meaningful way. Especially if you come to disagreements, of course. The arrogant level was very high on Mr. Howdy, I don't respect you, duty.
So what account does he go by on YouTube then?
I don't know if he is on YouTube.
Of course he is. He didn't just come in here by accident.
Oh, yeah, but do you mean, like, does he have a YouTube channel?
To comment to comment on YouTube, you have to set up.
She's
think.
saying he's got another sock account on YouTube somewhere. Wondering if anybody knew.
I'm
Maybe,
trying
I
to
don't know.
figure out who it actually is. What? Yeah.
I don't know.
I can't tell by the voice. They're all starting to sound alike.
He's a chemical engineer. He said that much. That's about all I know. I just, it does bother me a little bit because I just know that these people like this guy here wouldn't talk to half the people in here face to face like that, if any of us.
Yeah.
In,
I would agree.
face to face, right? I know they wouldn't talk to me face to face like that. I don't know about everybody else, but my attitude's more harsh face to face than it is on here. So I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, to come in here and feel that somehow you're superior because you're on the other side of a computer is just so arrogant. It's very, I don't know. It does bother me a bit because I just think, oh man, you're just not living in reality to treat people like that just because they're on a computer.
Excuse me, can I say something?
No, go stare at your brakes.
I waited till you were done.
Sorry, you waited a while then, so you better go.
No, I just got here. No, I just wanted to ask DP. Is DP here?
Yeah, he's here. He was.
Yeah, what's up?
Well, I see your name is Barry Lehman. I was talking to a guy on YouTube with that username, but he sounded like a Glover. That wasn't you, was it?
No, it wasn't me.
So why is your name Barry Lehman now?
Why?
Yeah, because I was talking to some idiot on YouTube in the text chat. And
You were probably speaking to who was it? Sean Little G.
He's
It was
Barry
Sean
Lehman.
that was part of that thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All
No,
right,
it was the transcript from YouTube, wasn't it? He
Yeah,
said
yeah.
very layman. He put something in very layman terms, and YouTube transcript come back with Barry Layman.
It did sound like you put a B on it though, because Bev played it back and was joking. Well, now we'll get sock accounts. Barry Lehman.
Yeah.
About 5 minutes later, Barry Lehman. It was. And then I was laughing because Rob was arguing with him on her. I was like, "Don't do it, Rob. Don't do it."
Bev must have went to eat or something. Is it tea time in your guys' country, Emma?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why he got so quiet. He's like, I'm going to let them take over. I'm going to eat. I'll be back.
Yeah. See, the trolls have taken over
Take
the tech.
over, you did. Oh my goodness. I came in and I just couldn't understand what was going on.
Yeah, no, he just continually says his big thing was you guys are purposely being dumb, purposely not understanding. He couldn't stop saying that no matter what. So, especially if you asked any questions.
But see, that isn't that. It's very telling. I mean, of course, SE picked up on it, but they all do it at all. Any corner you get backed into, just say you don't understand.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, and I was just saying that's their out. As soon as they get backed into a corner where they have to start defining or explaining something, well, you just don't understand. So,
yeah,
see you later.
And it's like I've said in the past, like how what you think about something becomes a part of you, so you don't want to let it go. You get totally defensive. Like, it's kind of weird, right? Like that's what he's doing. He's like, I don't think he can explain that picture, so he just wants to say, "Oh, you're an idiot. You can't understand if I explained it anyhow." Well, try it, right? Explain it. No, I can't. I don't know. I feel like people
Sorry, gods, I got to cut in. Howdy, dude. Seriously, you want to start on the mental illness route?
He's been going on about that for a long time. Even Buster asked him politely, "Can you stop with it?"
I really hope he never has anyone close to him suffers.
I asked him that. I said, I'm going to ask politely, I said, you're using a mental illness term in a derogatory manner. Would you please stop? And he did it again. And I was like, would you, to a person that actually has a mental disability that has that, would you walk up to him and say, you're so retarded? He said no. So, I mean, he's a useless cunt as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, people won't do that in real life. It's like you could call someone a goof on the internet, but I guarantee you, if you come up to someone in real life and they've been to jail before, you're not going to call them a goof. Like, you can, but guaranteed, if this is a hardened criminal, you're gonna
Oh my
get
god, I
delivered.
am so not a hardened criminal. What are you talking
No, but
about?
I'm saying, like, the word goof, at least in Canada and the prison system, it means you're a child molester, right? So if you call someone...
Oh, really? Does it?
Yeah, it does,
Oh.
yeah. So if you call someone a goof, like, especially, like I said, if they've been a criminal, they're going to throw fists. Almost 100% guaranteed, no matter what. Even if you're bigger than them, they're going to punch you in the face, for
Yeah,
sure.
but here, goof is just like goofy.
Yeah, I know, but
Goof.
yeah, it has a special. Even in Canada, if you haven't been to jail, it doesn't mean it's not as serious. But like, I've seen people get beat for that word in the past, not because I've been in jail, but because they have been, and someone called them a goof, and that was it, man. That's all it took, that one word, and it's just like this
I
word.
think that's a Canadian prison thing.
Yeah, I think it might be, but. Like these words like retarded or something, like, there's people that, I just had to explain this to someone the other day. There's people that struggle every day with a family member or a loved one or a child that do have mental health issues, that are, handicapped, and it's taxing, and it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of everything on the person that has to deal with that. Why would you would never say that to someone face to face?
I'll tell you why. It's because they don't understand. Because until you're in that actual position, you really don't realize how difficult it is.
Yeah,
And
like
I get that.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Buster.
I was just gonna say, I get what she's saying. You don't know what you don't know. Like, I get that, but that's why I asked politely.
Yeah.
Just please stop doing that. If you're going to be have a grown up conversation, you don't have to act like a 5-year-old in a sandbox and use terms you don't understand.
Yeah.
And he didn't do it for a while, but then he started again there at the end because he's just an idiot.
That's the thing too. Like, here you have a guy that comes in here, basically outright says, "I don't respect anybody in here. You guys are all idiots. You're all retarded." Sorry, I'm going to use the word because he did. And then sits there and whines and complains because he feels like we're not giving him the appreciation and the attention that he thinks he needs. Like, I'm sorry, dude, but if you treated me like that in real life, you're going to get a lot less than, a hard conversation. Or a lot more, than a hard conversation. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, you're the one that's actually delusional at that point, to go into a room of people, disrespect everyone in there, and then expect them to listen to anything you have to say with any seriousness at all. Like, you're the delusional one, actually.
Isn't that the definition of a troll?
Yeah. Well, no, a troll doesn't expect you to. Troll doesn't care if you respect them or not, but this guy's crying about us, like, basically, "Oh, I've tried to explain it, you're not listening." And then he says stupid shit like you can take a picture with a telescope and then go home with a measuring tape and figure out elevations. Like, no, you can't. People don't do that shit.
He actually started off by saying you could measure with a telescope.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then when
just
we asked him how, that was the explanation. You're right.
That's just pathetic. Yeah. Just pathetic. Has he defended himself?
Yeah, he did. I find it's a lot
I was
of
just going to ask if it was him or someone else that did it, but
because he's sitting there listening and he's not being productive. So I just server deafened him.
I'd let him listen. I don't care.
Yeah, I'd let him.
I think he should hear it. I think he needs to hear it. Maybe, I don't know.
Hey, can I say something?
Just say it, dude. Stop asking.
Stop asking. It's really not. But I'm going to start doing it now.
Well,
Show you.
I just want to interject myself into the conversation, sort of.
Interject away.
I'm one of those guys that uses that word a lot, but I try not to. But the thing is, when I use it, it's usually in reference to somebody looking up at the sky and then saying, that makes the ground under my feet curved by looking at lights in the sky.
You know what? I'm guilty of using the word too, but someone asked me not to because I didn't realize I used it. Then I would be like, yeah, sorry, man. I wouldn't sit there and say, no, you're you're an idiot.
I'll admit this is all my fault. But to be fair, I was on a server the other night, night before last. Somebody posted a picture. It's like, I get people use the word. I get why they use it. But I saw it taken too far. Like it was across the line using the word in that reference. And it was a picture of somebody that clearly, if they didn't, it was made to look like they had Down syndrome.
They had a disability. Yeah. That's what they enjoy doing, is posting pictures of that. They do that in Gems a lot.
Well, I called the mod out on, or I called them out on it, wanted a question about it, and I got so much resistance. And then they tried to say, "Well, Nathan made it like it was okay," and I was like, yeah, fine, y'all have your fun. I just left the server. I will have nothing to do with that server again. Not until somebody apologizes.
Then I told them all to fuck off over it, and I got promoted to mod.
What server was that?
That's a true story, too.
And the thing is I hardly ever call anybody out on it. But it was like that for me, it was over after seeing that. Because it's like, I give away hardly any of my personal information, but I have a family member very, very, very close that has Down syndrome. And when you use pictures like that and use it that way, to me, I would probably, if I saw that guy that was taken up for it, using it, I would probably beat the living shit out of him. And that's a wrong way to feel. But, huh?
I think sometimes people need to live in shit.
That's ridiculous.
I feel like violence it may not solve things sometimes, but it gives good perspective on things sometimes.
I'm just saying that it was using the word. It's like I usually don't say anything about it when they use those tactics, and then actually use somebody that looks like or does have that, and then still use it in drug. That's like way over the line. But anyway, sorry.
But ultimately, what a person has to remember, Buster, is that when people are like that and they're just plain old hateful all the time, and they're like, you're like this guy here that's here. What's his name? Is he gone already? Oh no, how I don't respect you or whatever his name is now. When people are like that continually and they don't give any respect to other people and whatnot, that's on them. It has nothing to do with us or anybody in here. It's completely on that person. If someone's hateful, there's something about them that they're not happy with, and it's coming out. It's so built up inside them, it oozes out. Right? There's no peace about that person.
And that's fine. I'm not mad.
I'm not mad either.
That's why I left it like that night. If they don't want to apologize or say anything, and then fine, I just don't have nothing to do with you.
Yeah. It's just a lack of compassion and empathy on their part. Yeah, whatever. Each to their own, man. I just know that.
Again, because they don't get everything that comes along
with
that. They don't get it. They have no one in their life to relate to.
Mm-hmm.
And empathize.
I don't, I know there's people even here that have mentally handicapped people as relatives or even their own children or whatever, but my girlfriend works with severe ones that have violent behaviors and stuff, so I don't fully know what it's like to deal with it on a daily basis for sure, but I have a little bit of a glimpse, and I would say that's probably it. Is it just a glimpse just because of, having to, it's even hard for someone that works with them, never mind someone that lives with them 24/7, day in, day out. My girl works 12-hour shifts with them, and it wears her down lots. So, yeah, I can't imagine. And for someone to not respect that or give that any kind of, I don't know, it's pretty low. Hope you're listening. I don't care, or I don't have respect, or whatever your name is.
He was at Brandon's this morning talking about how things can't disappear unless there's a physical curve they're going over. Like, there's no way that the angle over this and the density of the atmosphere, none of that matters. Perspective, none of that matters. The only thing that matters is if it's a sphere or not. That's this guy right here.
I think
He's a liar.
Demonstrated he doesn't fucking have a clue.
He's a liar because I asked him point blank. I said, "Does shit get smaller in the distance?" He said, "Yes." And I said, "Is that due to perspective?" "Yes." So he's just he agrees to that. He just says it doesn't matter what elevation, they're going to get smaller in the distance at the equal rate. Which, okay, yes, but that's not everything that's going on when something's getting obstructed in the distance close to the floor, right? It's just merging with the floor.
I like Nathan. I'd say, but I like Nathan's brick example. I don't know if it's his originally or came from somewhere else, but I think that's a good.
Yeah, they gave him that example this morning. Put one brick and move it away on a flat surface until you can't see it, and he agreed that at some point it would disappear, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they said, "Okay, stack more bricks on top of it. Would you be able to see those bricks?" And he said, "No." What? He said because they all get smaller at the same rate, so they're all going to disappear at the same time. That's where he's wrong.
So he thinks if you stacked a tower of bricks on top of that one brick, you wouldn't be able to see the tower at some point. They'd all fucking disappear.
He says they all do.
You could go to the moon with them, and you wouldn't see it.
And his reasoning is perspective. They all get in smaller and angular size at the same distance, at the same rate. So whether they're, at a different angle to the viewer or not, they're all going to disappear at the same rate, no matter if they're close to the floor, whatever, blah, 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 which is not true.
Well, actually, maybe he is right in a certain sense. But if you had a row of bricks that was a certain length, you couldn't see the first
the
row.
atmosphere.
Yeah.
He's taking the atmosphere. He's doing it in a vacuum. He's just using perspective, and that's not reality.
Yeah.
You're in an atmosphere. You have moisture particles. The atmosphere seems to be more dense at ground level. The ground and whatever object is nearer the ground merges together at a certain point quicker than something that's higher.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's elementary, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, he denies that.
Well, Rocky, you just don't understand. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're just trying to not understand.
I don't know geometry as I'm doing geometry at that time, squaring up and out.
You're just trying not to understand. Like, yeah, that's the thing too. As
All
a
of that
builder,
is correct. You can't do geometry.
What?
You can't do geometry. You just explained that you can't do it.
Who's talking right now?
Billy.
You're back.
I see what's going on. The idea is just to rubbish the fact that we don't know geometry. Then you can carry on with your stupid argument.
We did it earlier this morning with the brick example. Like, stuff doesn't disappear bottom up because of angular size. You guys are learning geometry from Nathan fucking Oakley. Anyway, that's all.
Do you think Nathan Oakley does geometry?
I think Nathan Oakley doesn't know anything.
do geometry. Excuse me.
We definitely
Nathan
did not
doesn't
learn
do
it from him.
geometry.
I think you may have. Or maybe you're just retarded for some independent reason and came to the same dumb conclusion.
You just can't learn, eh?
I did learn.
No,
I did learn.
I'm
Wow,
talking
you're a
about.
horrible
I'm
human
talking
being, bro.
about using the insults, dude. You just can't learn, can you? You're just that miserable of a person.
Yeah, go back on mute.
You can always tell the most insecure people by just how overly conscious of credentialism they are.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it takes for a man to be like that. I guess I don't understand how a man can be like that, that he has to insult everyone around him in order to make himself feel good. I've never had that complex, so I should
It's
probably
just
feel
frustrating
sorry.
when you guys go out. You guys have me
I think I
explain
should feel
geometry
sorry for you.
earlier, and then don't want to understand. It's just frustrating.
Triggered by geometry into saying you don't understand and then ad hominem attack.
Yeah, it's one thing to be frustrated. It's another thing to insult a whole fucking group of men because you're frustrated, because you can't deal with your frustration like a grown adult. You don't think
That's
that we
dumb.
get frustrated? That's silly? Is that
Well,
what you
you're
said?
doing it on purpose. Like you could just choose not to
no.
do this.
You're doing what you're doing on purpose. I asked you earlier, literally, probably at least 50 fucking times, to let's move to step 2. And all as you could say every single time is you purposely don't understand.
Yeah, that's correct.
Right. There you go. So you don't think I was frustrated? I didn't call you no names. I tried to move the
No,
conversation
I think
forward.
that you're trying not to understand, and you succeeded. So you accomplished your goal. I was trying to get you guys to understand a diagram of the Earth, and you guys
we're trying
didn't want
to do something practical that you said was doable.
and then you
I
didn't,
don't think
and you
I
win.
don't think you can do it. I still don't think you can do it. I don't know if you were trying to research it all this time. Maybe I don't know. Do you want to try to go to step 2 now, or did you Google it, or what happened there?
No, just saying that.
Just saying.
Someone
too.
brought up a geometry example of stuff disappearing bottom up because of angular size. I wanted to point out that is not true, and
So
you could just
don't
go learn
see
geometry.
So you don't lose the sight of a brick after a certain distance away from it.
Of course, but stuff does not disappear bottom up because of angular size.
So if you stack another 6 bricks on top of that brick, you won't
What's that got to do with geometry?
Trying not to understand.
See, you're doing it
I
again.
think you are the one personally trying not to understand.
Because the stuff will disappear top down too by that logic. You see?
I'm gonna.
No, that's ridiculous.
I'm gonna side with Bev.
See, now we're dealing with the mental illness again. So I think I'll just duck out.
He's asked the question again.
It doesn't have anything to do with geometry, but Rakia brought up that he was talking to him earlier, and you used that example.
Absurd. Doesn't have anything to do with geometry.
Well,
Wow.
the point is that he got triggered because Rakia was talking about geometry. He comes in and starts talking about bricks in the distance, and then get triggered because he assumes that's geometry.
You will never hear me deny being triggered. Because I'm honest.
Yeah, but so you got triggered about geometry, but then related it to something optical.
Holy fucking shit.
Is that your problem? The fact that you can't separate geometry and optical things? Hence the problem that we had earlier when we were trying to work out the elevation of the thing and the distance to the horizon.
I'm dealing with mental illness in you guys. And
there you go again.
Tapping out.
Anyway, I hope you guys get help.
See you later. It's been nice. Thank you very much. Pop in any time.
Yeah.
Yep. See ya.
Right. I actually feel sorry for him now at this point.
It's quite telling. They've got a problem with geometry. They get triggered at the fact that other people might know more than they do about something so basic. It's a serious problem. They have to assume an intellectually superior position to anybody discussing geometry. It's really strange.
That's the thing, is we thought it was basic all our lives until you actually get hit with hard questions, and then all of a sudden the ball drops. Pardon the pun, but and you realize, oh fucking shit, I don't quite know what I thought I knew about this subject.
Yeah, and you
And I
end
think
up
that's what's
getting
happened
triggered.
to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what's happened to him.
It's
yeah.
like a Penrose. We're going to have to think of a word for it. It's like a Penrose, but it's somebody who gets ultra triggered at other people knowing really basic stuff.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like we've been taught, generally speaking, we've been taught how to run without learning how to even crawl.
It's like they've forgotten. They've forgotten about the walking bit. Well, the crawling. Yeah. Like they've completely forgotten that ever happened. They've always just started off running.
Yeah.
But hey, it's becoming a normal reaction, but only to a certain group of people. Normal people can accept it as a line of inquiry, a thought inquiry. Certain other people just get ultra triggered. And then when asked to explain it, they haven't got a clue. There's nothing there. And then that spills out when they find there's nothing there for their intellectually superior position. It just spills out as ad hom attacks and really horrible. It's like that part of the brain just gets accessed, and it shows how horrible a person these actually are.
Well, that's what I don't get too. Why is it even if it's a complete I don't know. Maybe you're talking to people that believe in Sasquatches, and you think that's a completely fucking retarded idea. I feel like there's nobody that gets triggered over that conversation. Well, why the emotional attachment to trying to talk about geometry? It doesn't even make sense.
No, it's got to be something.
I talk to people all the time about aliens. I don't believe in that at all. But I don't go, oh my God, you MF this and you're retarded. I'm just asking them questions on why they believe it.
You don't tell them that they're just willingly not understanding that there's no aliens?
Why would I? I don't know that as a fact. How does he know how much geometry I'm doing geometry. As he's telling me, I don't know anything about geometry. I'm calculating, figuring out angles. And
this guy is a shadow. He's a shadow. He's not even good enough to be a shadow caster. Just a shadow and weak.
That's the thing. There's people that use geometry and shit in real life every day. Like builders in here. I know Buster. I build. Fucking Rakia, you do shit. Bev used to build shit. All these people, we use that stuff practically too.
Please don't forget about me. I use geometry and the whiteboard every day.
There you go. And there's Rob. He stares at brake pads every day.
I build subwoofer boxes too.
Yeah, there you go. Woof woof. Woof woof. I almost got my dogs going. They're like, what is it, Dad? What do we need to bark at?
I like it, Buster. He's a shadow. He's a shadow that gets reminded that he's a shadow, and that's why he has that reaction to the fact of realizing that he's a shadow.
He's a shadow. He's not even smart enough to be a shadow caster. He's a shadow.
That's awesome. That's great. I'm gonna steal that from you, Buster.
All right. I wrote a song about it. Like to hear
it? Sure. Yeah.
Here you go.
Are you gonna sing it, or were you kidding?
Oh,
I'm getting sick of all these Buster songs.
They're cringy. They're so cringy.
It's your fault, Rakia. You started. You're actually the one that fucking fired Buster up to start writing again.
That's the truth.
Y'all should be thanking me. I got us all out of gyms. That drudge hole.
Not me. I stayed there. I even spent a couple hours there the other day.
That's why you act like you did.
Yeah, that's right. Just a fucking idiot. Buster, you're disappointing me. I wanted to hear the song.
Sorry, I'm hauling lumber right now.
Do it. What's it called? Acapella when you do it with no music?
I can't, man. I got a crutch, and it's called a guitar.
Aw.
And it's much better if it's played through. Playing my guitar through Discord just drives me insane. I don't mind doing it, but I've heard myself on the other side with my other account, and it's disheartening.
Aw. We all love it. Well, except for the one guy. He didn't like it.
Yeah.
Or no, that was Lewis. Yeah, Lewis said it was crazy. We don't care what Lewis says, do we? Do we, Naya? We don't care what Lewis says. You could take a bite out of Lewis's ass if he ever comes here. I'll let you.
Well, I mean, it's fair enough because I hate Neil Diamond, but he's got more fans than I'll ever have. So
yeah,
good on him.
And I'm pretty sure you have more fans already than Lewis has, so it's alright. You're on my playlist, dude. You're actually on. I don't know how I managed to do that, but you're actually on one of my playlists through YouTube. So there you go.
Hey, you ever just stick a song on repeat and listen to it like 10 times in a row?
No, I'm not crazy like that.
I do it all the time.
Yeah, why do I believe you do that all the time?
Don't laugh, Buster. Sometimes it's your songs.
Yeah, no, hey, man. I wasn't laughing at you because I do the same thing. I'll listen to a song over and over and over. But I was laughing because when he said, I believe that, all I could think was staring at brake pads. So
we weren't laughing at you, Rob. We were laughing at you.
Yeah, I know. That's why I love it here, dude.
It's a bit weird though because Louis got absolutely wrecked last time, and he actually saw the water level test. He didn't allow us to finish it because he knew obviously he could see the problems. That's why Louis disappeared.
No, he disappeared because Buster's cringe. If you don't believe me, go ask him.
Yeah. Well, if Louis is trying to come in to obfuscate, they've not got much else. Because that attack that we've just had there from a guy that doesn't know anything, Louis, and Billy imagined that he doesn't know anything either. Right? He told us he doesn't know anything, but he's still willing to call people names over something that he admits he knows nothing about. Now, that's pretty telling.
Well, you must be wrong.
That's very telling.
For the state of their argument on the other side. I mean, has nobody told him how to solve this problem? Because it doesn't seem like they have.
I think Louis and Billy actually they sound like they could be brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Their voices are similar.
They were definitely double teaming, weren't they?
I think so.
Lewis
hasn't been in here. Yeah, Lewis hasn't been in here forever. Then all
Louis
of a sudden
has to be Dr. Bob's son.
Yeah, I don't know. Isn't he just a bus driver, Lewis? Dr. Bob. He wants you to stop calling Dr. Bob Doctor. Then he'd just be Bob.
Well, I mean, that's his handle he goes by. I don't care if he's a doctor or not. He's pretty ignorant.
Have you ever heard of the Canadian Surveyor? He sometimes comes around. He hasn't been around for a while, though.
Yeah. Louis has the same voice as Dr. Bob. I'm not saying that is Dr. Bob. I'm saying, you ever notice how family members can have the same voice?
Yeah, that's the way I feel about Lewis and Billy, actually, to be honest. Seriously, they sound similar.
Yeah.
Maybe they're brother and sister. I don't know. I mean, brother.
Sister.
Yeah, sister and sister.
They might be making up for not being round there on Father's Day.
We got your back, Dad.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what goes on in the dark recesses of the internet?
How dare you call my dad a lying shitbag? That's what we should have asked him. Are y'all bad because we called your dad a lying shitbag?
Who was that you called the lying shitbag? Dr. Bob?
Dr. Bob, yeah. Well, Bob.
Bob,
You can't trust the doctor bit now. Like you know, like that's gone. He could be lying about literally anything now. Once you prove to be a liar, then
Can I say something?
No, you can't.
I like what Bob the what?
I thought you were gonna say something.
I did. I call him Bob the what?
Did you?
I got that from Travis, and I laughed every time.
Almost dropped the TV off the fucking off the stand. That's not fun. My girl would have killed me.
Because he calls himself Bob the Science Guy.
he called himself. It's gone. That channel's gone as well. It's now Research Flat Moon. I don't know what's happened. Maybe he's not allowed to do that. Moon? Perhaps he's been found out to not be a science guy and not allowed to have that moniker. But
is that seriously the name of his channel? Research Flat Moon?
Yeah.
What the hell does that mean?
No,
I think it is flat, actually.
And then he goes by Dr. Bob, but the doctor isn't a big capital D, and there isn't a dot after the R, and he doesn't capitalise the B in his name either. So there's not much that's believable of any of it. If you've gone to university and done whatever and got a doctorship, a doctorhood, or whatever you want to call it, you don't disrespect it by not putting it properly as a title. It's an official title.
No, you don't. Yeah.
Unless it's not official.
Well, that's what I mean. Like he's
a title.
He's a proven lying shitbag. So, I mean, he could be lying about anything.
I love it when he says that.
What did he lie about? I missed it.
He says he's
measured
the drop of the water level across the lake in his back garden.
In his back garden?
With a baby. Yeah, with a baby tape measure.
Yeah.
And
with no measuring rod.
Literal.
Oh, that's
literal.
why Billy thinks. That's why Billy thinks she can measure elevation with a measure or with a ruler on a picture because he is Bob's son.
Yeah.
It's all coming together now.
It makes sense.
He's got Dad's back.
Well, I mean, Ranty did actually put the ruler on the picture, so I mean, Ranty might be related too. Could Ranty be Bob's son?
Brother, son across the pond.
Yeah.
No, he's just the best son.
I mean, has anyone actually seen Ranty in the UK at Blackpool? He might not even live at Blackpool. Who knows?
His name might not even be Ranty.
Oh shit! What did I come back to?
Just us hypothesizing.
Yeah.
Okay,
Is that a
just
word,
put it this way:
hypothesizing?
if someone's online, they can pretend to be anybody. Just look at it that way.
Sure.
How about this? If someone's online, most likely they are pretending to be anybody.
Pretty much, yeah. Except I really can't be bothered with pretending to be someone else, so you're stuck with just me.
Oh shit! Can you try pretending? Maybe you want to do it. Can you pretend?
No,
Oh fuck!
because the real me would just slip through. It would be, and could you imagine my voice? Everybody would know instantly who I am.
That's like a Hex, man. If that was a character, my hat's off to him because he stayed in character for 6 hours straight one day.
Who?
Hex, you missed that one. He came in like Kermit the Frog.
Yeah. I didn't miss it,
No.
actually. I heard it. You
No.
guys were being too mean to him, I thought, actually, at first. Because he was being very agreeable. No, all the time, just too mean. He was all right. It wasn't as bad as some.
Has Billy given up on speaking and interacting?
He's given up. Billy has given up on talking to idiots that refuse to learn his bullshit.
Yeah,
I learn every
I'm going to
day.
start
Doesn't
reporting
everybody
these
learn
ones,
every day?
Billy. When I'm deleting them, I'm going to start reporting them every time you mention
doing?
disabled people, mental illnesses, or anything like that, Billy. I will be reporting it as I delete them.
Yep, me
Oh,
too.
he's still going on. He's still going on with them in there.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Just can't move on. That's like that Matthias guy. He just can't move past shit either. They're broken.
I really hope for the people in his life that none of them ever have an accident, get ill, and become disabled. Because this guy, I don't think he could handle.
He thinks you can
caring.
just stop being disabled. He's like got a really bad. He's so triggered. Yeah, he's telling
Maybe
people.
maybe someone close to him got disabled, and that's why he's so angry. You know, like how gay people, like closet gay people, are mean against other gay people.
Yeah, but you don't go angry. Hang on, you don't go angry at other disabled people.
Oh, it's true. Like
the logic doesn't. You wouldn't be angry at other disabled people.
Yeah,
just
because you just become angry and bitter in general, and then that oozes out on every aspect of your life.
Yeah, but not towards other disabled people. I'm
No,
sorry.
see,
if you have someone in your life with that, you don't.
Maybe.
You don't.
What they're doing though
I
is.
don't know. I was just trying to.
What is
Hey,
that sound?
That's my
It's
two
his
dogs.
dogs.
Stop it.
What they're
Sorry,
doing
okay.
is they're associating all of us with flat earthers. They are then associating that flat earther with a mental illness. They are then saying that mental illness is a disability. And you can get better of this disability that they've given you by just agreeing with them that it is a globe. Right? Which that is wrong. And I've been defending flat earthers forever, and I will always do that. These bigots, and that's what they are, bigots, are intellectually weak-willed people. And it's got to stop. This is the flat earth that's dying. This flat earth that these people think they're talking about.
That's why they're trying to push it so hard at the moment. They have to label you.
Oh, for sure they're weak. Anytime you can't disagree with someone without calling them names. Weak.
Oh, what are you doing?
Better?
No.
I have to be glitchy. No? Is it better now?
Stop. Like, when you're fiddling with your headphones and stuff, like, we can hear it all.
Yeah, am I good now or not?
I would just like to point out that some of us have sensitive hearing.
I did. Something I was walking, and something caught my headphone and unplugged it halfway. Sorry. Jeez, you guys are hard on me today.
No, it's just me.
Seems like Blue's got a bit triggered by Mobius. Good work, Mobius.
Good work,
He's
Mobius.
breaking him. Blue's
Wait,
like.
what happened?
Yeah, Blue's going. He doesn't know what he's talking about now, does he? He's trying to say you're adopting his argument, and it's fun.
It's quite funny to watch. They're losing it. They think we're losing it, but they're the ones that have to step back and look at this fantasy model of theirs.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if there is anybody intellectually honest enough on the globe side to sort of stand up against all of this ridicule that's coming at the minute of people that saying that we don't understand, but having a fucking severe inability to explain anything to us other than the fact that they can say you don't understand. I mean, that's their best argument. Ad homs and the fact that you don't understand.
Yep. Today was very telling. I hope you taped it, Bev.
Oh yeah, we're recording now still.
Anyway,
3.5 hours.
Anyway, I just wanted to point out that there's enough airtime for certain people.
Yes.
And any more, just silence them.
Yeah, I don't want that sort of an idea of people. I think we've got the idea now that sort of behaviour and that sort of person attacking people like that is not what we want. I don't want to see that in the chat.
It's not what anybody wants, and not what anybody would put up with in real life. So, I dare you, go down your local pub or your bar, for you Americans. Go down there and start talking to people like this, and see how you get on.
See what happens.
Yeah, just do an experiment.
No, this kind of talk only happens on the internet.
What Emma said. I told Rumpus once, Rumpus, have you ever gotten a beating in your life? I know it sounds crazy, right?
Rumpus wouldn't act that way either, I'm telling you.
If you've gotten beaten up by somebody in your life, right? If you never experienced that, you'll never understand what it's like that there's always somebody better than you, smarter than you. You'll never realize that. It's like, I know it's harsh, but people that grow up in these Ivy schools that are protected, they don't understand life.
To be fair, I have an Ivy League degree, but I do understand life.
What was that? Can I hear that again?
Said, to be fair, I have an Ivy League degree, but I do understand life.
Yeah, that's not it. But you've gotten a beating in your life before, no?
Oh, I have. I was telling my sons the other day about, like, when I grew up versus them. I'm like, kids don't fight it anymore. And one of my sons like, oh, no, the kids definitely fight at my school. I was like, really?
Yeah, don't get me wrong. It's not the Ivy League that all my hats to everybody, but it's if you haven't gotten a beating, it was my point. Yeah.
I knew fighting wasn't such a big deal the first time I got my face punched in, because I was like, because I was always afraid to get hit in the face. And once I got hit in the face once, I'm like, all right, I can handle this. Then I got hit in the face a bunch of times.
Yeah, and you also learn that you're not the smartest and toughest kid in the block either. Like, you got to watch what you say, right?
Pick your spots and you punch for the throat if you can.
No, those are kill shots. Let's not talk stuff like that.
You can hit a guy in the throat and not kill him. I can't punch that hard.
No, but you know what I was trying to get, convey, right? Like spoil little brats, like Billy Boy there. Yeah.
Billy is just this triggered little insecure fuck who, has decided he's smarter than everybody, and he's a joke. You can tell how insecure he is, and angrier he gets.
Yep, that was really good. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, it's like there's more content at the minute than I can deal with.
I know, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
3 days of rock stars.
Well, I mean, it seems like
this
is the last dying bits, right? Because there's no argument. It's just attempted ridicule, but I think they make themselves look bad.
Agreed. But at least with, like, say, Blue, right? At least we had a conversation with him. But this guy, Billy Boy, my God, I mean, he's completely broken. I keep telling him, tell your handlers, they got to bring you back to the factory for repairs, dude. Like, if somebody claims to be a chemist and says that 2 drops in the water equal a hump. I mean, that's...
One
what can
more
you say?
dodgy thing, Yoda. One more. Oh my god, yeah, that's
Billy,
it,
come on,
Yoda.
come back
Yoda.
into chat and say that to me out loud. Say that to me in chat, bud. Come on in. Come on in, tough guy.
Hey, Logos.
Start talking about my family again, Billy.
I was just asking if your
Tell
family
me
has
about
said
your
anything
family,
about your
Billy.
delusions.
Tell me about your mommy and daddy, Billy.
I'm just asking if they've said anything,
Was your
because you
dad
might
around
not
when you were
think
growing
that you're
up?
delusional,
Billy,
but I
was
bet
your
other
dad
people have
around?
noticed it.
When did your dad leave your mom? Were you 6, 7? How old was he? How old were you?
Maybe they haven't
It
said
hurt a
anything.
lot.
I don't know.
How much did it
I'm not
hurt
there.
when dad left? Mom date a lot? Did a lot of different men come into the house, Billy? Is that why you go online and treat people like you do? Mom was alone for a while?
Well, I'm dealing with hostile and delusional people.
When your dad left, tell us about it, though. Tell us what happened when dad left. Did he just not show up one day? You're really sad? How much did it hurt, Billy?
See, the difference is you're making
Tell
up
us about
random
it, Billy.
shit,
Tell us about it,
whereas
Billy. Tell us about your lonely childhood.
what I'm saying is actually
Other kids
germane.
make fun of you at school. You were in school when you went into school every day, and you knew that your dad had left. Did you know that other kids had dads? That make you sad, Billy? Is that why you lash out at people on the internet, Billy?
See, it doesn't mean anything coming from you, is the difference.
Nothing you say means anything.
It does, because we have the
Nothing. No one here
demonstration
cares about you.
of your
No one.
delusions, and
No one
it's
cares
different.
about you, Billy. Nobody cares about you. You are
Why
zero.
are we allowing a 15-year-old sat in his mum's basement to insult everybody?
Hi, Billy.
I'm just saying that you clearly have delusions. I bet someone in your
Yeah,
life has
I
noticed
don't
it.
think
Maybe
someone
you
of your
should go to the
age.
doctor,
I
dude.
don't think someone of your age. Maybe wait until you get a little bit of wisdom under your belt. But life experience.
That's made up, though.
No, it's actually not, and you sound very,
Yeah,
very
it's something
young.
that you made up.
Yeah, you
So
say
you've
sound very
basically
young.
been told, you've been given
you.
a whole life with a silver spoon in your mouth, I would imagine, and that you feel that you're better than other people, and this is your pastime. So, fair play. But it's not the
I'm
kind.
just
It's
trying
not
to
the kind of
explain
people that we
geometry
want
to
to
some
hang
people
around
that
with.
don't understand it.
No,
and
it's
it
very
turns out
narcissistic.
they are like actively not trying not to understand it. So, yeah, it's a little frustrating. The delusions are a little
Then leave.
frustrating to deal with.
Leave.
Yeah, I'm probably on the way there.
Okay, see you later. Bye.
Yeah, I don't think anyone under 18 should be in here anyway. Did he leave of his own
He
accord?
didn't attempt to tell us he was 15, did he?
Well, I just threw out an age, but there's just something in his voice then. I just went, he's young.
Definitely
he's very
was young.
Under 20.
I've got to go and
For
have
sure.
my tea.
Got that from his voice?
If you enjoyed the content, please support On the Level and future projects. Membership subscriptions available now, or come and get involved at Next Level Discord server. Thank you.